ganske meme.
Det blir mime.
Ok. Hvis jeg ser en rumble nå, så kommer jeg til å fuckings flippe tables. Yo.
Ja.
Ja, jeg løyer ganske bra i jungle. Så håper han faktisk pikker noe som ikke er ins.
Vi får se.
Håper jeg bare ser noen juicy picks. Kan han snakke om Cookie Jar, så gammel champion. Vego.
Ærlig.
Ok, de vil ikke at Army skal gå på Gunnar, I guess. Det eneste svaret jeg har på det her. Ok. Ezreal Karma. I guess han ikke pikker Karma her nå uansett, så de kommer på sikker rotation. Keyray på Diana. Topside draft? Hva faen skal det bli?
Mid-jungle og topp.
Mer Siggs, ja. Ok, her sier jeg. Å, herre fred. Hva er kompen her?
Det Schalke. Vi skal faktisk disgrace dere. Det her Mad Lion som
faktisk... Det er teamkompet som Rogue lagde mot fuckings Scale, hva faen var? Han bare tok alt mulig random ting her.
De vil bare disgrace dem, altså.
Eller hvilke team har han spilt mot når han hadde? La meg tenke da. Hvor er Larsen? Larsen? Akali. Topplane, Leeson. Det var mot Astralis, ja. Han spilte mot Astralis, og bare hadde han det syke teamkompen med Draven, Gwen, Akali. Jeg synes ikke det var lett å se hvilke kjempe så. Karma-band, I guess. SLTF. Ja, just det er bra mot Kali. Det er jævlig mye mil nå. Cillian har country Brown. Kjør. Hva er... Ja, det er det. Det här är ynken alltså. Jo. Hva jeg sier feil av flashen? Nei. Ja, jeg har kjøpt den her. Bad Lions. Vad fan. Kör lite över mitt där, kom on. Okej, skalka dock inte. Nuclear int. No. No. Det där är ont att se på. Kör vi... Nej. Bra kan jeg se ut det.
Jeg ser at Mad vant, men hva skjedde? Går det vei?
Hva sa du?
Hva skjedde game her da?
Det skjedde jævlig mye rart.
Internett da?
Den gjorde litt innpress. Men det var noe... Det var teknisk sett med Lions lå under, så innta Schalk. En fight, og så mistet de alt. Jeg håper jeg kan se fighten. Holy fuck, det er sykt. Liksom skulle kikke vekk Viego, right? Og kikke han direkte inn i AD-carryen hans.
Nice.
Hæ?
Nice.
Ja. Det var noe mest interne jeg har i mitt liv. Der overfor den nuclear inn skal bli benchet. Ifølge meg.
Pappa kjører.
Ja.
Jeg kjøpte noe mat. Tror du der?
Ok. Har du kjøpt en vaskemaskin her, så?
Nei, jeg er 50 allerede, så.
Du har 50, eller?
Tilfelle blir det skittent.
Så er det 50 til? Ok, nå ser jeg på... Ok, nå kan du kanskje se fighten. Det kommer litt av det hvert, da. Men den fighten, det er bare deres fight til lys, altså, men... de burde være litt forsiktige. De burde egentlig vært litt mer forsiktige, for Redlands har jo mye bedre fight enn team. Jeg håper vi kan se at Kaiser feiler flashen sin over veggen, og så blir det en så tiltatt at det bare går inntil. Det er veldig morsomt å se på.
Greit. Armut. Turkey.
Husker du når vi så på World, så da alle sammen, I am from Turkey and armors from Turkey, that means I am very gay.
Ja, jeg husker det. Jeg kommer aldri til å glemme det.
Turkey-spillere er veldig cringe. Fortsett da. Her er det! Kjøpe.
Yes.
Han er bare sånn, ok, ha det. Jeg er ingen som spiller. Jeg har spilleren her på rosteren på det. Og jeg så det der, så det var sånn, nei, ok.
Ja, men det er respectable.
Det må han som bare dø hvis du gjør det.
Jeg har mad respect for det der, altså. Mad Alliance respect.
Så her i Turner Tables. De drepte Carsey, så får de bare. Nei, da får jeg Herald på det. Men jeg får også Turret, da. Her er en fighten her. Se fighten her. Det er en fighten som tappte mye. Han hopper inn, Charlotte for bare denier alle sammen for å gjøre noe. Han bare dreper alle seg på den tiden. Han får alle seg.
Og så vinner jeg.
Se på Loya. Han flasher over her. Nikolai sier, ha det! Woo! Tenk å være neon der. Og bare, ja. Du bare kicka en vege oppå meg. Jeg har mye jeg kan gjøre.
Tilskudd, men.
Jeg ville reporta den til gamet.
Jeg
Ærlig talt.
glemte å bytte til Gull Freddy før gamet. Filspad.
Faen.
Nei, det er ikke livet er bare det der.
Hadde du nok poeng, da?
Ja.
Ripp, det var
Nei,
gøy.
jeg glemte å gjøre det når vi gikk inn i rank-gamen. Jeg bare ble så tiltet at jeg glemte det helt. Hadde jeg ikke blitt tiltet, så hadde jeg bare byttet om imens vi spilte, liksom. Happens.
Hvilket item jeg ville ha det til da?
Jeg skal kjøpe gull for å få scale terror, i tillegg til terror.
Jeg får se hvor mange Drakes kommer sikkert til å få sånn 2-3. Kanskje de får 5 også. Det er veldig tydelig at enten så har de lyst på Drakes, eller har de ikke lyst på Drakes. Om de har lyst på Drakes, så får de Drakes. Og om de ikke bryr seg, så bryr de seg ikke. Og det er sånn hvor det er veldig mye sånn på Rogue. De har en gameplan, og det er noen ganger bra det rundt Drake, og andre ganger gjør det ikke, så derfor er det ikke like konsistent som andre ting. Hør på han.
Oliver.
Mm.
Riot Games er sexistisk og ikke lar kvinner spille.
Hvorfor League of Legends er sexist og ikke har noen League Legends Champions, det snur jeg på.
Oi. Nei.
Det var Razer Mic. Question mark?
Han sa basically vi spilte mot folk som er garbage, så jeg bare...
Ok, det er det jeg prøver å si. Ja, det gir mer mening.
Men han ville ikke si det på en sånn måte.
Jeg forstod ikke hva han ble å si det. Han sa han er ikke bra, men han er bra.
Han prøver bare å snakke sånn skikkelig rundt, så ingen kan calle henne til å være supertoxic. Men det var basically det han var. Så vi denne gamet i sted. Hvis det sier jeg i går.
Hvilken?
Hvor han brukte I'm with you for tidlig. Misfits, var det? Det var en Afilus game i går.
Ja.
De så kan det at det var bare Afilus som faktisk endte opp med å vinne threat, så de bare bummer.
Ja, det virker som et problem med champion som ikke har noen escape routes. Selv da en trash med seg. Så vi hvorfor er det så sexist at du ikke spiller med jenter? Synes du det er sexist da?
Ja. Jenter er bæsj på League of Legends.
Det er true.
Jeg tror ikke jeg vil vi skal spille Clash, nei.
Så det er jenter. Vi kommer seg inn i gamet.
Når jeg er Clash på Oliver, vil antagelig stelle lekk overfor å spille Clash, tror jeg.
Jeg tror du kan spille den så klokka 10 ganger.
21:00.
Ja.
Hva er siste gamet?
21:00 starter ikke gamet.
Ja, hva er siste gamet?
Det er ikke Rogue vs. G2.
Ja, nei, han vil ikke. Det er Rogue vs. G2 da. Siste gamet klokka 9. Ja, siste gamet klokka 9. Ja. Ja, klokka 9 live. Hadde det ikke vært for det, så hadde han sikkert kunne vente med siste gamet, men jeg tror han var veldig så sen.
Jeg er sikker på ikke klokka 10, synes du det?
Nei, jeg er veldig sikker på at det er klokka 9 faktisk. Det er noen ganger det er klokka 10, men det er ofte det er 9.
Sangen her er veldig gøy. Har dere bra teams da? Hvem er det som spiller?
Jeg antar at det ikke blir så bra til, nei.
Det blir sånn random folk som du ikke vet om.
De blir okay, spiller med, jeg guess.
Nei, men jeg vet ikke. Jeg liksom, har en kjennskap til Kogoen.
Den ene er en litt sånn Aero-spiller, jeg guess. Sånn,
Hvor er han? Hva spiller han?
Han er sånn midlaner som Aero seg.
Ja, det høres ut som en cancer å spille som jungler.
Ja. Men vi blir ikke, jeg tror ikke det blir noe høyt tier. Det er sikkert sånn tier 2 eller 3 tid.
Jeg vet ikke hva det betyr, men jeg tror det er en tier 3 siden å spille Mortal, ikke?
Nei, Morty er et annet som er tier 2, hvis ikke
Mhm.
Det blir fort tier 1 hvis det både Morty og Røyse med meg.
Ja, nei, jeg tror ikke det var tier 1 siste gang jeg spilte, men...
Nei, det av og til det tier 2. Men hvis jeg spilte på Lundgård denne gangen, så ble det faktisk opp ned til tier 3 til og med.
Med Morty?
Ja, Lundgård og Morty spilte Clash den gangen. Jeg skulle egentlig bli med. Nei, du var ikke med. Men skal ikke sånn at jeg ikke skulle
Ja,
bli
jeg spiller veldig litt før.
Og da ble det plutselig fra tier 3 i stedet for tier 2.
Det er sykt at Morty klarte å komme ned på tier 3. Bare for å romme med meg.
Ja, han skal egentlig alltid være på tier 2 minst. Men det var bare for noe som var enten unranked eller ikke, eller skikkelig lav sånn flex rank og ikke en annen rank, liksom. Sånn er tier 3, liksom. Når jeg er på sånn Clash, er jeg ofte på tier 3 siden jeg
Ja, hva er det, tier 4 også?
Jeg er usikker på om det er det. Jeg tror kanskje det.
Det må nesten være det, det er ikke veldig unbalance. Hvis gold er tier...
Tier 3 er low gold silver.
Ja, men hva er bronze og iron?
Ja, det tror jeg er tier 4. Jeg tror tier 4 er bronze og below. Jeg tror det er tier 4. Men jeg har ikke sett det, så derfor så vet jeg ikke.
Det er trist å tenke at det er low gold. Det er nesten...
Ja, men vi har jo så vidt spilt rank nå, synes jeg. Vi har spilt litt rank på starten av season.
Ja, men det... Man kan ha over gold MMR, selv om man ikke er på pletten.
Jeg ble jo tier 2 etter første klasseskivet mitt, og derfor laget gikk fra tier 2 til tier 3 når de byttet meg ut med Lundgård.
Ja. Nei, jeg trenger å komme over til platinum. Jeg trenger å være en platinum-spiller, tror jeg. Hva betyr det setten her? VE, WE. Gold før 15, og WE før 15.
Win expectancy, han sa det.
Ja.
Win expectancy at 15.
Før 15?
Ja.
Eller ja, når det var 15?
Jeg tror det. Ja.
Det bare går ned, random.
I Australia så går det ned, og til Misfits så går det ned en takk. Så er det sånn.
Ja, det er 52 for hver ting utenom det ene.
De goofer på transition fra early til mid.
Ja,
Kan tolke det, liksom.
det er meg. Hvorfor sitter du og ser på den testen her på bare her? Jeg vil se på andre Simpson. Det var mest... Det var... Jeg gikk ikke se på Astralis. Det var interessant sett, så skulle jeg se på sånn Rogue og G2 og sånn. Ikke akkurat G2 nå, men Fnatic sånn. G2 nå er jo ikke så bra nå.
Meningsløst for de to lagene, eller?
Hva sa du?
Spesielt Astralis. Ja, det var ganske pointless å se på fuckings der når det fuckings er Astralis.
Ja, jeg føler ikke det får litt mer ut av det, så er det helt annet ting å se på det. Jeg ville ikke kalt Vito en explosive player, altså. Ass hevlig? Det var ikke hevlig i hele tatt. Hva faen sier du? Lemau?
Heavy win.
Ja, du fikk aldri sett før, gamer.
Nei.
Det gamet her er definitivt verdt å se.
Eller jo, jeg gjorde det. Jo, jeg gjorde det.
Gjorde du?
Gjør jeg ikke? Var ikke det i går?
Nei, det er faktisk
Det var
ikke.
tidligere. Ja, da gjør det ikke.
Gamet der var superlemau. Vi begynte på gamet, tror jeg. Nei, gjør vi? Ja, jeg tror vi gjør.
Sånn, playoffs er litt kjedeligere å se på. Igjen, for at det bare er noen garbage-lag. Men sånn å se på games er alltid så mye bedre når det er i hvert fall som best ut av 3.
Ja, husk på at items blir veldig forskjellig på styrken at det er best av 3 og sånn nå. Det må også huske på. Sånne her masse blå items blir mye dårligere da. På grunn av at det er basert ut på en average av 3 games. Så det var mest magic damage og sånne ting.
Ok.
Det er mye mindre konsistent da.
Ja, det er meningen at det blir det.
For plutselig går ene gamet går en Zoe, andre gamet går Lucian og... Ja.
Ja. Det er bra å huske.
Ja, så det er noe viktig å huske på. Da gold items kanskje kan bli verdig igjen. Men for den average av gold itemsen.
Det er
Som-
sikkert derfor det er da de blir mye bedre.
Men ja,
De kontrollerer det.
men noen av gold itemsen gir fortsatt ikke mening. Og sånn her. Hvis du får hvis du får en average på rundt sånn 16 poeng på en gold item, så vet jeg ikke om det er så mye bedre uansett. Men
Average på 16 er ikke nødvendigvis så dårlig. Det er jo når den går ned til 14, som noe
Ja.
av det er som er egentlig dårlig.
Men sånn, hvis du får sånn 18 i en game, og så får den plutselig så får den fuckings 16, så får den 14. Og så blir det sånn 16.
Altså, ok, jeg skal correcte meg. Jeg mente ikke average. Jeg mente de gold-tingene bør være minst 16.
Ja.
Ikke average. Averagen kan godt sitte på en
Du må bare stekke Alicare. Alicare gjør ting som generelt sett, så for mye farm og sånne ting. Det er den eneste tingen som er given. Kanskje junglers med sånne mest objektive damage og sånne ting kan funke det.
Ja.
Men sånn middelene for mest AP damage og sånne ting er veldig sånn coinflip. Ok, vi tider på Akali. Det virker som draften er allerede ferdig. Men vi får se hva skjer. Vego er åpen. De burde ta Vego. Lee Sin er også åpen. Og Lee Sin White Knight. Nei, vent her. Han tar ikke Lee Sin. Det eneste champion han kan spille, og så tar han ikke den. Selv om de bestemmer seg for inntil.
Gjør det. Veldig merkelig valg.
Jeg vet at de nerfa, men han spilte Lise den siste uken han var nerfa også, var den eneste grunnen til det han vant. Det var legit eneste grunnen til han ble med salg.
Jeg tror ikke det er det eneste White Knight kan spille. Jeg tror at det er det eneste White Knight har lov til å spille, fordi at resten av laget hans er så garbage at han må spille...
Og det til og med BA mot Akali. Nei, ok, de tar mid og mid, og så tar de med et liten topp. Dette er Ultimate Threats.
Oh my god, det er bare...
Det vil si at de White Knight mid lane med Lisen. Det var jævlig sykt. Det vil si at de tar Magic Fill i topp lane nå. Det er sånn bare 200 IQ. Det er det som skulle vært player. Lisen mid mot Akali.
Blir det det?
Men så fikk en syl, ass.
Det er ikke så dårlig mot Akali.
Jo, for han har en White Knight på Mundo.
Ja, det er dårlig. Det er bare dårlig, men det... Jeg tenkte bort til det nå.
Jeg har heller sett Magic Felix Miller med Mundo enn Whiten på Mundo. Whiten er den eneste kjempen, den eneste personen som kan gi et par timer der. Hvorfor sitter med Mundo?
Ja, det er rart. Han er litt fly, og han gjør det for mye også. White Knight, jeg skjønner ikke hvorfor han...
Sitter kamera på.
Jeg guess han ikke har noe bedre lag han har lov til å være på, men sånn, fy faen, det er trist.
Ok, ja, men vi synes det alle vunnet. Det her er ikke noe. Det er ikke et game, vet du, Mohammed. Hvis Australia heller kommer til å være nærheten av å vinne ikke mer, så vet jeg ikke. Det var det Leesin i Insekka som vant dem gamet mot Schalke. Hvis ikke hvorfor det, så ville han tapt 100%.
Ja.
Jeg skjønner ikke hva som skjer.
Jeg synes White er den eneste personen som spiller bra på driftelaget der, altså. Men han offrer alt for mye for laget sitt, så det hjelper ikke at...
Hva glemme alle Alfile-spillene nå?
Alt på Stålberg.
Kan hoveren her? Jeg vet ikke noen sjanse i verden at det kommer til å pikke, men hva er det her? Pikke noe? I hvert fall hovere noe smim, må du hovere det der? Kan vi hovere 10 om det? Hva så vi skal hovere noe jalla? Hver gang ikke pikke Kajsa, da bare suger det mer. Imagine pikke Kajsa rundt der. Og de mest memeste tingene i verden.
Imagine at med tanke på alt andre man skyter med sett, så. Ikke uten tvil at det her er bare full litt.
Hva slags adekjører vi opp nå? Hva er det ikke Pisayra kan? Herregud. Jeg vet at de ikke, men dere trenger ikke inntil dere også. Jesus fucking Christ.
Men Rakad mot laget der er ikke noe dårlig.
Jeg vet det, men Saya er bare ikke en champion.
Jeg vet ikke hvorfor man trenger å gå Saya egentlig, nei, men det...
Hvis jeg går Saya uten Rakan, så kommer jeg faktisk til å flippe table.
Ja, det
Oh my god. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Hva er det der for noe?
Det er misfit. De fitter ikke helt inn i metaen.
De var traumatisert av den der Rogue Ultimate-tullet, så nå må man spikke en champion som kan komme søk for det sånn til. Men har ingenting på team-member som faktisk kultiverer at du trenger ulten her. Hva er du redd for? Shinshao?
Rakan hadde ikke jeg syntes var så ille, kun for å booste opp Rakan.
Det forstår jeg, men det her er jo ingen mening. Du spikker Saya bare for ulten hennes. Andre. Eller fordi de er group skikkelig.
Jeg synes å pikke Saya kun for Rakan er ikke så dårlig hvis det faktisk ikke er forfeidelig å pikke Sayan. Altså Sayan er ikke forfeidelig i gamer.
Jeg tror jeg skjønner hva som skjedde. Jeg tror at Kobbe trodde at laget hans var på det andre teamet, og han måtte liksom dodge Akali og Wolver og sånne ting. Da gir det mening. Right?
Ja, men det har skjedd til meg også.
Da gir det faktisk mening da. Det er det eneste påstående jeg kan gi deg at pikke her faktisk gir mening. Hva faen skal du tenke i Saya-ulten til? Hva skal du dodge for da? Han ikke affiliate sist game, det var faktisk Nocturne som tullbake. Det var allerede lokket Nocturne og alt med sånne ting. Men nå fikk jeg en spikke det. Det her er så dumt.
Det er weird pick.
Hvis de så hele teamet deres utenom supporten deres, skjønner jeg.
Ja, det å si.
Det er et game som skulle vært 20 minutter, men som... Det her var et game som skulle være sånn 20 minutter, men som endte med var sånn 35 minutter nå på grunn av draften her. Jesus fucking Christ. Oi! Viego topp uten flash. Det var det så jo.
Damn. Ok, Castleton her.
Ting fikk en volleyball leash? Ting så lenge leash også? I guess. I guess det matcher leash med leash. I stedet for å mobbe Alistar på level 1, som kan gjøre for å deny dem drift med XP. Fy faen, jeg kaller det kjapp. Ok. Synes jeg deny warden der. Ok. Ok. Okay, Harriet, the meme master. Hvem var det som spilte med Mundo sist da?
Var ikke det White Knights? Nei.
Nei, men sist ikke. Hva sa du?
Ja, jeg prøver å huske. Var ikke det mot... det var ikke mot Mad, var det? Det var SK mot...
Det var mot Mad? Nei, det var mot Vitality.
Ja, SK mot Vitality. Var ikke det game Mundo vi fikk av?
Jeg tror det var SK sin topplaner. SK sin topplaner, Genax.
For de pikket...
Ja, det høres ut. Ja, det er riktig, ja, det er riktig. Så Mundo har... Jeg vet ikke lurer på om han blir pikket Mundo for høy winrate, men det stemmer ikke. Jeg tror bare 100% virkelig løser seg nå. Ja, for nærheten. Så vi game en pause. Det var litt sånn sykt, egentlig. Ok, jeg går på do mens jeg venter. 2 sekunder. Hva faen skjer?
Pause. Fortsatt.
Det var faktisk ordentlig pause. Sa du hvorfor?
Nei, ikke som jeg fikk med meg.
Det er sikkert technical trist.
Det er vel det som gir meg spenning å anta.
Ja, det er en så lang pause. Da sitter ikke spillingen. Og de må foran oss i tid. Så skjer det med å vente litt stund til det. Have a break, have a KitKat. Skjønner, har du gjort klar KitKat nå?
Jeg tenker.
Hvor er KitKat fra? Jeg trodde det var amerikansk, men jeg tviler på det amerikansk.
Er det japansk?
Jeg tviler, siden det er en...
KitKat, det er Nestle, så det er amerikansk. Nestle er jo amerikansk.
Ja, hvorfor er det en europeisk reklame for det da?
Fordi de har jo Nestle-fabrikker i Europa også.
Ja, men hvorfor skal Amerika bry seg om...
Fordi de samme hvorfor det er McDonald's-reklame i Europa.
Ja, men de sponser ikke den europeiske sportsscenen og sånn.
Jo, de gjør det. Det er jo noen som gjør det. Red Bull sponser jo europeiske ting og sånt.
Ja, men de er jævlig stor.
Monster gjør det. Jo, men Nestle er jo stort. Hvis KitKat er en del av Nestle, så er jo... Ja, sikkert det, for Nestle er jo huge. Nestle er jo en av de større sånn godteri-tingene.
I guess.
Cornflakes til KitKat til...
KitKat er bare veldig rart, siden det føles veldig ikke europeisk.
Nei, men jeg assosierer faktisk KitKat mer til sånne japanske ting enn akkurat nå, for jeg vet... Eller Korea og sånt.
Jeg vet ikke, de har veldig mye forskjellige sånn random smak KitKat da, holder på i Japan sånn ting.
Yeah.
Men det er jo in-game nå, det er...
Nå er vi ikke.
Ok. Men de har Leona.
Turmen som et lag.
Ja, men det er sånn, men han har gagging power i botlane.
Ja.
Hvis at teorien var at de ikke hadde noen lanes å ganke. Ja, drit i Mundo. Fuck å prøve å ha strong seg med Mundo. Usaklig.
Er det de gjør da? Er de helt med?
Nei, det er de har snakket om.
Å, jeg cast og sånn? Ja, nei, det er bare unødvendig.
Vent, han gikk akkurat inn. Han er en bomma. Men hvorfor startet han bare fra... LOL, han var hitta. Han tappet lane. GG.
Oliver stjerne.
De accomplisher veldig mer. Det er helt sikkert hva de ikke har irritert supportene deres mot det player. Men ja. Ah, ok. Men det var litt feil smart der, men ikke. Leona har ikke ultimate. Trenger man egentlig dash på Akali? Ok.
Men det er ikke like int å ikke gå det på at han liksom sånn ble på glanse, så.
Men det blir bedre hvis det er topplønn?
Mm?
Det Øg og Ignite, TP.
Jeg tror TP Ignite er bedre i topplane enn midlane.
Ja.
Tror jeg føler at det er. Men Katarina går TP Ignite i solo.
Det gjør Nocturne også, tror jeg.
Så det er Nocturne også? Sheesh.
Jeg tror hun kan det. Jeg vet ikke om det er vanlig. Men det er ikke dårlig, liksom.
Nei, det er sikkert ikke det.
Okay. Ja. La meg. Faen, det er så Resident Sleeper-bottlen. Gå bare ser dem ikke på koreanske og kinesiske spillerne og bare kopierer dem.
Pro-players, eller mange, det er en del pro-players som gjør det, og faktisk derfor ofte går jeg ahead med sånne sweats.
Det føles
Fordi
som...
i Korea, så er det ikke engang, det er ikke koreanske pro-players som finner sånne pro-sweats. Det er bare solo-players som gjør det. One-trick bonus og sånt. Som fort finner de giga-OP-bilder sånn. Det er sykt mange pro-players.
Holy fuck, hvor vil vi bare one-shotte den der krabben? Ja, helt sikkert. Men hvorfor sier Tristan har bare mistet alle farmen? Okay. Okay. Det var veldig forvirrende å prøve å se på fighten her, men sure. Det var... Det å se på Akali spille her er som å se på et annet spill og hva er det som skjer. Han hadde sånn 40 dasher. Hva er ikke med i gamet?
Hva er det?
Ok, jeg får se. Når bruker du fucking ulti? Ah, gå mot teamet ditt! Hva faen?
Det er ikke å pikke seg opp, gjør det det?
Det var så trist å se. Hvor jævlig lamet at du kan hoppe tilbake igjen etter å bli slått vekk. Det er faen meg så helt sykt lamet. Jeg vet at jeg hopper på her. Jeg skyter deg vekk. Jeg kan ikke si kom og hoppe på den igjen. Det er drittkjemp. Vent, ja. Det her er ikke engagement, altså. Ok, Kobe Inten. Men guess det er viktig å sitte angrepet om det. Ok. Men jeg kunne vært ferdig hvis jeg ikke pikker for Isaiah. Men jeg vil pikke Isaiah. Gjør absolutt ingenting med livet deres. Sitter til Lemau hele gamet. Oi. Ja. Det var jo noe. Two of 7. Okay. Alex Itch, best player. Går det bra med dere, misfus?
De trenger ikke
Ok.
bry seg. De trenger jo literally ikke bry seg nå.
Hva er gamer? Det var sånn supertregt, og så plutselig så går han på den mest random facen.
Ja, de skjønner jo at AGM er bare så kjedelig at nå må de bare sitte og fuckings vinte for å få det litt spicy.
De tror han tenkte det var ikke ingen nok å pikke seg, og så må jeg inn til tillegg.
Det skjønner jeg. Jeg har gjort det samme, ja. Er det? Hvorfor
RIP.
gjør det det?
Er ikke det topplederen?
Nei, jeg har imot.
Og da Armut.
Ja.
Armut God. Han fikk 20 poeng.
Det er fint.
Armut. Ta den, eller var den? What? Det tar ikke så lang tid å sitte en gang på den. Ok, kan vi slutte å gi dem Drakes? Hallo? Men hvorfor i helvete hopper Jessica dit? Av en flash? Hyrdut var 3-0, ja. Og så nå er de 3-2. Nå har bare blitt tittert 2 ganger på rad. Det er down for oss. Sonja Solberg. Kan bare ta planta. Ok, de gikk langt inn for no apparent reason. Mhm. Ok. Gaming. Gamers for gamer. Alistar Measureless, I guess. Det føles ikke så amazing ut, men hvis du må, så må du vel. Ok, hear it. Nå må du roe ned litt. Du har ikke fucking splash. Går det bra med slutt? Oi.
Så skal du spørre det. De sitter literally bare og gamer meg spicy.
De har nødt til å fylle tiden, I guess. De har lekt for sånn, ja, dere har nødt til å bruke den hele tiden. For ellers blir det for lang tid for oss å vente.
Ja. Sikkert det du bør betale for da.
Og det her er resultatet av det.
Vakkert, ikke sant?
Nei. Ikke det hele tatt.
Vet du hva som er sånn Shadow Legends?
Alt.
Ja.
Det er jeg enig I.
Det var meg bare sånn, de snakker sånn at de faktisk har en sjanse til å vinne og stjeles. Sånn, ja, obviously de har det, men...
Snakker du om casteren nå, eller snakker du om fucking spillet?
Ja, castersene. De har jo det, obviously. Men,
det er bare Dragon Soul da. Men det må, MSP må inte for at de skal få den. Og at disse så ser det ut som de kan også inte. Så, nei.
Ja, jo, obviously. Men sånn sammenlignet med sånn, når jeg faktisk har hørt casting som Smash, liksom.
Ja.
Så er det faktisk sånn, til og med om du er 2 stocks behind, liksom, så kan du fortsatt vinne hvis du bare komboer bra, og faktisk bare...
Ja, Smash er ikke en snowball-spill da. Men...
Nei, akkurat det jeg mener. Det som gjør League litt kjedelig, og spesielt når det er ikke best etter 3, liksom. Det er bare sånn...
Som blir fort ferdig etter draften.
Ja, etter draften, og så fort også etter 15 min. Egentlig. Med mindre folk ikke.
Det finnes team som gjør noen kule ting der de faktisk setter opp for syke traps og sånne ting. Men ofte så er det bare ingenting som skjer inntil en person bare dør inntil at de får noen objekter, og så bare dragger det ut.
Ja.
Ok. Ta den planta. Ja, takk. Nei, ikke ta varden. De kunne ha drept den, men sure. Han skal gå for han, ja. Det ser jeg. Gud. Men nå må de som bare give den opp, for de har jo ingen folk nå. Men hvor er siste spilleren til Adria? Hvem er det som er pott?
Jeg vet ikke. Ser den ikke?
Antar video. Ja, de trenger ikke gå for fight. De kan ikke coinflippe der, for hvis jeg straks får den der, så blir det fort int, altså. Ok. Video, jeg sitter i 1-3 da. Så han trenger litt hjelp. De taper fighten jævlig hardt etter mål. Men hvis han kommer seg opp av han der, så blir det fort annerledes. Vent, han dør til ingenting da? Nei. Bra ved Saya på laget, ja. Gjør absolutt ingenting. Han kommer til ingenting med livet. De legit spiller 4-5. Det er det eneste som skjer da. Men hva er det du holder på med? Ja, men hvordan gjør resten av teamet ingenting da? For jeg sa jo ikke har damage. Oh my god, Lamau. Den bare. Ok. Slutt å bygge alt sammen på Alistair da. Jesus fucking Christ. Det eneste Saya kan egentlig gjøre, er å gå og prøve å ta Baron, men prøver ikke på det. Okay. Det er bare ingen som skjer da. Lamau. KB går det bra med her? Det er på dør, det er ingen som er på angrep lenger. Ok. Den på børsen Mundo. I guess det funker hvis de dreper den så fort. Men Vito trenger ikke springe til Narnia. Ok. Ok. Faen, en stor middag. Ok! Første han gjort. Hele gamet. Men... I guess han så han. Å, han står sånn. Han ble død. I guess. Men hvordan kan den ikke drepe Trist, da? Ok. Det her dilemma. Går det bra, venner? Kan du roe den litt? Hva har veldig hjulpet hvis jeg klarer å hitte den uansett? Jeg er glad for at jeg ikke har votet på noen på øyet mer. Holy fuck. Dem til sånn høye levelen. Vent, hvorfor fighter de her? Det var jo turreten. Nei. De bare inne og... Oi. Ok, det der, Draken her. Oh my god. Ok, nå fikk jeg supporten. Jesus fucking Christ, hvor jævlig stygt game. Klarer han å finish her? Det var Baron Buff. Dæsken, vet du. Og en fiesta av alle fiesta i verden. Ok, kan dere hjelpe fuckings av dere? Ok. Ok, Jessica, du. Oi, men du har adkjøren. Hva er jeg i vei? Vent. Vent. Lemau. Le fucking smau. Ja, jeg tror ikke Misfits kommer til å ende opp med en opplevelse. Den blir Mad Lions. Mad Lions, G2, Rogue og Fnatic. Den gamer gang. Xavier. Jeg kan ikke. Det går ikke an. Det her er umulig. Hva er det her? Dun, 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 dun.
in our place now, and we like are willing to pull the trigger like when we need to. So I think it's been like a good improvement for us in that sense. And I think also like why we are like winning more games on stage now than we did before in spring.
Yeah, sure. And one final question, Magic Felix, and again, congratulations. It does, like, Astralis doesn't always have the strongest early game. However, Astralis is also finding those victories after victories. And this is actually a compliment to Astralis. As Casters was asking, they're not quite sure what the team color of Astralis is, but something must be going on right. So in your opinion, what is the team color of Astralis that makes them keep finding this success?
I just think it's our willingness to like work together and like commit to taking, fights, even if they don't like look perfect, we're still willing to go for it. And I think that's what makes us able to get these wins even against like the stronger teams.
That makes sense. And we hope to continue to see more success from Astralis. Thanks once again for the interview and best of luck for the rest of the LEC.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. And after the break, we'll be back with Fnatic versus Excel, Markun versus Vipo, and Hylissang versus Advian. So don't go anywhere.
back, everyone, to the LEC studio. It was a banger, wasn't it? I mean, I'm still reeling from that finish.
Like going like this.
Yes, it's crazy. And you said Match Baker before the segment, so before the game. But in any case, we're moving on and hoping that this game is going to be a banger as well, as we're gearing up for a UK clash, Fnatic versus XL. And I'm joined by Trouble, as you can see, for a look at Fnatic's macro versus Vitality yesterday. Trouble, what do you want to show us with these next replays?
I think it was all, I don't want to say it was all Bwipo, but it was the way Bwipo was using Paranoia on the Nocturne. I don't think I have necessarily seen it being used like this before, because 50% of the time, Bwipo did not dive in with the Paranoia. It was used for mental strain towards Vitality. So I want to show two clips where Bwipo does dive in and use the Paranoia as an engage and kill tool, and another one where he uses it as a disguise tool for them to take advantages on the map.
Okay.
So let's look at the first one right here. We all know that if you're going to take someone down from Vitality, it's going to have to be Leader in the mid lane. And what does Fnatic do? They take Bwipo in the mid lane, they take Healy in the mid lane, and they also have Niski pushing down mid. So they all going to gank Leader. Now, what's really cool here is that actually Leader has used his shadow as well in the mid lane, so they know exactly where he's going to return. Hylissang comes up from the flank, and then they just finish him off underneath the tower. What's also extremely important to highlight on the map is that while this is going on, Adam is fighting in the jungle of Fnatic, keeping people so long in that state where actually Bwipo makes another call with Niski, taking Hylissang with them to fight in the jungle. You see that Adam survived for so long, props to him, takes two people down to lower than 20%, and then Bwipo again focuses Agenda with the most HP in this fight, and they managed to take them all out. So again, using the Paranoia to kill mid and then instantly making the call to take Niski's ultimate into their jungle, flashes through the mid to finish off Labrov as well. So it was a great showing from Bwipo. Being decisive, making the calls, being aggressive.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is kind of, I would say, standard, right? It's good. You know also versus Vitality specifically, you want to target that. So it's great execution and great adaptation. But in this next replay, you want to show us kind of an extra layer to that Nocturne play.
I want to show you why I think Bwipo was living in Vitality's heads rent-free, because that's exactly what he was doing before. So right here is right after the Baron has gone down for Fnatic. And what's very important that a lot of teams don't often do when they take Baron is Fnatic is pushing 3 lanes at once. They have Adam pushing down top together with Healy shadowing. They have in the mid lane the Tristana and the Nocturne bundled up together. And then in the bot lane, we have Niski on the rise. So Vitality need to choose where they want to reply on the map, because they can't have 3 bound up lanes pushing against them. So when they make the call, it's going to be towards top lane. They want to punish Adam. They find Hylissang right there. And this is where the moment strikes. The second Bwipo uses the Paranoia, you will see that instantly the Vitality going back into their tower. And that's so important, because Bwipo never intended to join that fight.
No.
It was just a disguise, 2 waves pushing in and also taking 2 inhibitors for free. And actually, I made the call yesterday and I said, Fnatic can actually end here, because if you look in the minimap right now, there's a bunch of bugs going on in this area down here, but they actually cancel them. There's only 2 members of Vitality in the base, 2.5 waves bound up, 3 very healthy Fnatic members, to the point where Sigenda actually has to TP onto the tower, and then Fnatic's like, cool. Peace out.
Cool, peace out. And then they come back and, of course, finish the game. And I think you said on the cast, Bwipo is living in their heads rent-free right now, because he's using that Nocturne every time to put it on cooldown. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. Yeah. Now, you know, let's contextualize this and look ahead to this next game versus XL as well. Bwipo has been phenomenal, I think, for Fnatic. He didn't feel so well yesterday, we heard after the game.
Imagine if he did.
Imagine if he did. But he's going up against your golden boy in XL now, Markoon in the jungle. So what can we expect?
I think this is going to be very bloodthirsty from both teams, because Markoon really likes to play aggressive, play together with Nuketag, possibly go down to Advin if Patrick wants to go again with a very aggressive pick in the bot lane. And also, we've seen Bwipo. He has his hands in a Viego, a Zinza. We saw it yesterday on the Nocturne as well. He's going to be in your face all the time, which is sometimes where, you know, when a new roster like BTXL comes in, they might fumble in execution, whilst Bwipo is a veteran in making these calls and making these plays.
Well, maybe it's a day of first, right? Magic Felix with his backdoor. Maybe later Rogue finally is able to beat G2. And maybe XL with the new blood in the jungle and in the bot lane.
By the way, coincidence? I think not.
Maybe they can now beat Fnatic finally, because XL have never beaten Fnatic in the LEC. So today the squad is looking to make history.
You know what else has never happened? England have never won the Euros. I'm just saying. Just saying.
So we're talking
It's
about
a
things that will
weekend of
never
firsts,
continue to
guys. It's a
happen.
weekend of firsts. Wales have never won it either.
Okay. Okay. Still better than you in rugby. Welcome, everyone, to Fnatic versus XL. We had a wonderful pre-match there, setting up some expectations around some of the great things that Bwipo does. But Medic and I wanted to talk a little bit about the man in the top lane, Adam, because while Bwipo did transition into the jungle, we had a new rising star in the top lane.
Yeah.
Adam, kind of coming out of the LFL, a very quick trajectory in terms of his career,
Yeah.
and he is definitely making a name for himself up there.
Really is. 19 years old, coming out of the LFL, as you say. And I think the thing with Adam is his willingness to die is what I love about this guy. I know that sounds weird, right? But what Adam does that we don't see a lot of top laners do at the moment is he will run under your tower to kill you. And as long as he kills you, he doesn't care if he's dead as well. He cares about getting the advantage in the pure 1v1, getting those kills and getting himself ahead. And it's actually why he's the highest kill top laner at 15 in our entire league at the moment, Veddy.
And we're going to talk a lot more about Adam once we get into game alongside his top lane jungle compatriot Bwipo. But let's start off with the draft. Fnatic gonna kick things off by removing the Draven from Patrick's hands, one of his go-to champions this split. He's been very much about lane dominance. Throughout this split, we've also been seeing a lot of Kalista bans directed towards Fnatic, but we know that Patrick is also a bit of a Kalista player himself, so we'll see how that shifts the priorities. For now, nothing too crazy. A little surprised to see Fnatic banning out the LeBlanc. Does suggest, though, that they are not looking at something like the LeBlanc-Lee Sin combo for themselves.
Not too surprised, though, to see the Akali, the Nocturne, and the Xin Zhao all taken off the board. Alongside that, Thresh has been 100% pick ban so far on 11-13. Gwen available, Thresh available.
Oh, they're prioritizing Thresh over Gwen. Wow, okay, so number one, that could be great respect towards Advienne. It could also be Hylissang saying, I love Thresh, please give me Thresh.
I mean, obviously.
But also the fact that they would give up Gwen. What we have seen, though, from Adam literally yesterday is that he's happy to play the set into the Gwen, assuming that it is in the top lane, of course. So we shall see, and it is obviously going to be locked in here for XL. So will Fnatic get themselves the sets just like they did yesterday, or will perhaps Adam have something else up his sleeve?
Obviously, a lot of options for Adam. I don't know how well the Darius goes into the Gwen, but that would be a signature pick for Adam as well. There's the Kalista you were talking about, Veddy, as Patrick's going to lock that one in. Means that, of course, Fnatic will have to look to another AD carry. Things that team up well with a Thresh. Anything that needs a little bit of safety.
Felios is how they usually go to, and in the current meta, it definitely seems like Felios is the go-to. And unsurprisingly, we are going to see that one locked in for Upset. We are going to see the Viego. Traditionally, for Fnatic, has actually been in the jungle. Normally, we'll see that in the hands of Bwipo. So for now, I'm going to assume that is where it goes, which means that Fnatic is still looking for solo laners. And because they haven't locked them in, this is a great opportunity for XL to actually ban away things like the sets. They could even consider, well, with Nocturne already banned away, maybe they want to ban away Lee Sin as a potential good matchup into the Gwen as well. But they have a lot of choices, and I think that they should just look to remove Adam's pool. Maybe they even remove the Olaf if they consider it problematic enough. But there we are. We are going to see the set removed. And also, as a reminder, the Nautilus locked in. Great pair up with the Kalista. Very powerful 2 versus 2 bot lane. Hook versus Hook champions in the bot. But when you have this Kalista Naut, it's such a very powerful 2v2 lane.
It's actually really important that you say Hook versus Hook. Nautilus's Hook has a shorter cast time than Thresh's Hook. So if you see Thresh Hook, you can Nautilus Hook in response and have yours connect first. So that's why it's picked into the Thresh as opposed to, you know, just picking a tank that could engage like an Alistar or something along those lines. The Nautilus Hook just slightly quicker to come out. Twisted Fate banned away by Fnatic. You said the set ban already from XL, and we'll see where XL go for their final ban here. Could try and reduce Niski's possibilities in the mid lane. Renekton does that to a degree, but also cuts away Adam a little bit. I was a bit surprised by the Renekton ban with it being an AD jungler. My expectation would have been that we would have seen AP mid, but I guess it is top lane ban as well.
It's more that, like, I'm surprised because Renekton I don't think is that good into Gwen. I think very quickly that matchup turns in Gwen's favor, but perhaps they're saying Adam is such a good Renekton that it's not worth it. It's not worth the risk. In any case, it will be removed. Another mid laner removed from the side of Fnatic does to me suggest that they're looking for something very specific. Diana going into the back pocket of Marcoon. They have a very strong AP top side right now. Does suggest that we're looking at an AD mid laner. Something like a Zed, perhaps. Nuke Duck did have an account dedicated to Zed. he will have the counter pick. I believe it was versus G2 last time we actually saw his
a long time ago.
Accepting
The
an
only
AD.
AD mid lane he's played this season, and we'll stick with that, is Jace.
Okay,
Not sure how it would fit into this composition. Like the poke of Jace doesn't really synergize with anything else that they have as part of their comp. But poke is always nice, so we'll see where he decides to go. Silas locked in for Fnatic in the mid lane alongside Camille for Adam in the top lane.
Okay. Have we seen him play Camille this
Nope.
yet? Okay. Well, we know that Adam is a big carry top
Wait,
laner.
what?
Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna get Nuke Duck's Yasuo into Niski's Silas. All right. So the thing about Yasuo in this composition, Diana Yasuo, if you've ever seen it in solo queue, it can be really powerful. The wombo combo potential is kind of crazy. Because one of the things Diana sometimes struggles with is keeping everyone within her ultimate so that she can actually dish out the damage. Yasuo will do that for you. Conveniently, he will hold all of those champions in place, with which the Diana can then rain heavens, well, rain the moon down from the sky, I suppose. So yeah, that's going to be a fun combo to watch. Not the strongest mid-jungle 2v2. Yasuo doesn't have the greatest power in the early game. But when you go up against the Viego Silas, I do give that slight advantage over towards Fnatic. I do think that they have a very strong top side in the early game, one that Bwipo can definitely look to play around. But I think that for XL, you are looking at this bot side of the map to be a little bit more aggressive. We know that Patrick is very comfortable on the champion, and with a Diana, it's definitely a lane they can look to play through. So I'm expecting a little bit of early aggression, especially towards the bot side of the map. It's going to be a good game. Let's jump into the match for Fnatic versus XL.
Hvem hadde Niski i går?
Hvem er Niski i går?
Sylas.
Sylas, ja. Det har han gjort bra før. Hvordan Sylas gjør matchet da?
Det er ikke matchet. Nei, jeg vant med det for Sylas gjort. Jeg får høre det.
Nice. Vi har betta ganske hardt på Niski.
Ja, men Yasuo har veldig mye...
I have Youngbuck with me as Youngbuck will run through Fnatic versus XL.
Hey
Youngbuck, so I gotta ask the question that the audience will also be raising. Why Yasuo?
Ja, en sånn Diana-gank
Well, we feel it's very strong with jungle duo with Diana because he's very reliable in getting knockups on the team. So basically after level 6 is very easy. We have 2, 3, 4 man knockups, and Yasuo works very well off of that. So Nuktak already came earlier in the week and said that we should be practicing it or at least trying it, and we did with quite some success, and then got some confirmation as well. We saw that playing it, so we put our faith into it for this game, and because we want to scrap the fight a lot.
Forlåt, det er bare at de har ikke lyst til å disrupte...
A lot of faith in Nuke Duck, and of course in Marcoon as well, the new rookie that has joined XL alongside Advienne. Advienne's going to find Hylissang and Upset walking into the bush here. The root comes out after shot procced on both of them. Patrick's had to use the cleanse, as Hylissang had already ignited. Hylissang very low. Advienne continues to chase. Heal on Upset has to be expended there as well. 2 sums for 2 sums overall. Hylissang still has the play. Lots of damage onto Advienne. Upset can flash forward, looking for that Q. Hylissang's going to flash as well and burst blood to Fnatic.
Okay, so Fnatic bot lane. We asked for blood and they delivered. And this is not the start that XL was looking for. When you have the Kalista, Nautilus, you're looking to play through this lane. You typically want to try and get resources into this 2 versus 2, but dying, losing so many summoners this early on and giving first blood over towards Upset of all people, it's definitely not the start that Fnatic was looking for.
Yeah, Upset has been so consistent for Fnatic across the course of summer. Damage per minute, middle of the chart, you can see, gaining laning advantages. CSD, 10 farm ahead at the 15-minute mark on average. 500 gold ahead at the 15-minute mark on average. Although it hasn't always been him as the focus for Fnatic, he has consistently been able to put up great numbers.
Well, it's one of those things where he does get a decent amount of jungle attention. We often see a lot of teleports down towards the bot side of the map, but even yesterday he was getting a sword kill in his crown shot in that 2 versus 2 lane, and he's definitely an AD carry that, I mean, for a long time has been considered very good, but is yet to really achieve anything. He's made 1 final, but doesn't have any titles under his belt just yet. And I think that part of his goal of joining Fnatic was to finally get himself a title. And potentially this is the roster to help him do it. Great start for him in this game versus XL. A team that we know is willing to be aggressive, is typically very bloody. What is happening elsewhere on the map? We didn't get a chance to talk about the jungle pathing because of that level 1 craziness. We can see that Marcoon pathed from bot to top side, whereas Bwipo actually pathed top to bot side. So a little bit unconventional to what we're used to seeing. And I think that Bwipo expected the same thing because you can see that they're using their fire to actually path up towards top and contest for this.
Yeah, so
Perhaps Bwipo is saying, well, you know what? I know that my bot lane is resetting. I don't even want to bother risking going for that bot crab because I could be in danger. So instead, I'm going to go for this one, and Markoon's just going to continue to do his full clip. Let's see what Markoon does after this and see what his expectations were for Bwipo. If he chooses to reset, it does suggest that right now he's given that one up and he'll come for the bot scuttle.
Alright, now Nudok is trading on Niski here. Hitlersang with a bit of free time. Cry is not in the best of shapes, doesn't have flash, of course, on this Gwen. Puts down the Hallowed Mist.
Okay, Adam!
That is only going to be Hallowed for so long. Bwipo misses the Spectral more, but Cry's really doesn't have anywhere to go. Skip and slash won't be up in time for him to get across the wall. Adam with a solo kill. Oh, not quite solo kill. Bwipo did assist.
Bwipo did, in fact, get some experience and gold there, but we talked about how Fnatic could look to play through the top side of the map, especially when you have this Camille with the Ignite. And the fact that their bot lane got themselves a 2 versus 2 kill, he's definitely thinking, well, I don't really need to do much here anymore. All their summoners are gone, so let's try and get Adam a little bit ahead. He did that top clear to bot, and then he actually passed back up towards top side, got that Scuttle Crab, looked for a gank, and it worked out for Fnatic in the other game. So now they find themselves with a 1k gold lead already.
And the question for XL is how do they manage to get back from this position, right? Because Markoon has just been quietly farming up. He's going to be able to get this bottom side scuttle, but bot lane is a kill and 6 CS down. Top lane is now a kill down as well. Every lane is basically losing out, and you have this wombo combo. You know, you've got the Nautilus knockup, the Fate's Call, the Last Breath, the Moonfall. You have this great combo, but if you're not in a good position, or if you're not fed enough to be able to just burst down the enemy team, you have to give teamfights to Fnatic in those longer exchanges.
Well, I think teamfights are going to be really interesting because when you look at Fnatic's comp, they're actually very limited when it comes to crowd control. Yeah. Right? When you kind of compare that to XL's comp, I think one of the big things they do have is, the more I think about it, well, it's one of those things where I thought, initially, Yasuo, a very strong side laner, because you build so much crit in a 1 versus 1, you can actually give you a huge advantage. But then Camille, she is also a very strong side laner as well, especially when you consider her true damage. I don't really see a lot of Yasuo versus Camille in a side lane, so I don't want to say for certain who wins in a side lane. Like, my gut says that it would be a Camille. But perhaps I'm wrong. Perhaps with like a 3-4 out of Yasuo, he is just one of the strongest side lanes. At least that's usually what you expect with a champion like Yasuo. But anyway, that's a long way away from where we're currently at. In the early game, you kind of expect the Yasuo to get bullied a little bit. Not the strongest early game champion. Same for Diana. Usually these champions are waiting for their first item, the level 6s, similar to what we were saying last game with champions like Akali. But that doesn't necessarily make Yasuo a bad laner. He has a lot of mobility thanks to his E. And he can also farm relatively safely. And the shield also actually makes him pretty effective at trading. But it can be quite difficult to actually get kill threats without your opponents making mistakes, because, as mentioned, he doesn't really offer a lot of crowd control.
Yeah. You're looking for that third knockup on your Steel Tempest, right? Which is very difficult to land, especially on someone like a Sylas who can just dodge away. Fnatic, though, using their bot pressure, using their mid pressure to start up the first dragon of the game. Cry's trying to trade here with Adam. Adam goes back in with the precision protocol. The needlework going wide. Adam with the Hexag ultimatum, but Cry's just wins out a pure 1v1. He was a sheen down in that matchup.
Well, so the biggest thing is Cry's had Ignite. And while Adam did sidestep the final proc of Gwen's ultimates, the amount of sustain that Cry's actually got back from landing the previous 2 ults was enough to actually swing the health advantage in his favor. I think Adam could have used his ultimate a little bit earlier, and I'm a little surprised as to why he didn't. Perhaps in a replay, if we get one, we'll be able to figure out why he chose not to. But in any case, yeah, it's a pretty big deal. Cry's finding that solo kill is definitely going to swing the momentum of that matchup heavily back in the favor of Cry's. And we talked about side laners, I then go and forget about Gwen, who is probably actually the strongest side laner in the game right now.
She's just so powerful when she can get ahead. Now has the Leeching Leer, so it looks like it's going to be a Rift Maker for Gwen up towards that top lane. Markoon with the third Scuttle Crab of the game. He's looking down towards the bottom lane, and what a breath of life Markoon has been for XL Esports over the last couple of weeks. Him and Advienne having a superb performance together. You can see Markoon actually, this is obviously only a 3-game sample size, so saying he is tied second for kills and assists at the 15-minute mark may be a little bit spurious, but he is having a superb start. 90% kill participation at 15 minutes. Spends a lot of time around Advienne, that support jungle proximity, second in the league. Advienne and Markoon coming up from BTXL, teaming up and getting XL some early leads in their games.
They are a very aggressive duo, and they're looking to make a play right now.
Upset jumped on, Moonfall available here. Stun's gonna land, but Hylissang is all on his lonesome underneath the tower, already down. Marcoon dodges away from Nisqy. Patrick's gonna have to flash the wall as well. Nukeduck underneath the tower, able to survive for the moment. Patrick low, down to 150 HP. Nukeduck with the last breath, but the chase is on. Marcoon going back in, and Nukeduck will kill off Nisqy. Spectral more available from Whippo. He'll land that. Looking at the blade of the Ruin King, can't quite get the damage down. Marcoon trying to get away. Whippo so close, rooted, misses. Marcoon dodges to the side, and it's a double for Nukeduck.
Wow, what an outplay from XL, from Nukeduck getting his ultimate off to Marcoon using the lack of vision in the brush and just pressing S to sidestep Whippo's Q. Just beautifully played. Oh man, what a great fight. Now XL, they're having leads all across the board. They're winning in the top side. They also got the teleport out from Adam because of course Cries didn't have his TP, so even further advantages being gained for Cries. Now the bot lane matchup has swung ever so slightly, but the biggest thing is Nukeduck 3-0-0 now on this Yasuo. He is huge for XL, and he's going to be very influential as the game progresses.
What a flip of the script here. Patrick caught out by Hylissang. Marcoon in the area. Nisqy and Hylissang able just to burst Patrick. Not having the time of his life on this Kalista so far.
So, let's have a look at this replay very quickly. So the collapse comes in from XL. The TP being held off for the time being. This is going to come out from Nukeduck. He pushes in mid. Fnatic think that with this wave this thin, they can actually protect it. But Marcoon is saying, nope, you're not allowed. Good hook initially from Hylissang to interrupt Marcoon, who then takes tower aggro. He loses his life. Nisqy flashes in, forces summoners out for both Marcoon and Patrick. And just keep your eyes on Nukeduck here. Okay, so he doesn't quite have the knockup just. Oh, he's going to get it from that initial knockup from Advienne. Wait, was Advienne? Oh, it was Patrick's ultimate from Advienne into the knockup, which then gives him the ult. And then this sidestep that we're going to get from Marcoon here. So he gets very low. The knockup onto Upset was also really crucial here from Nukeduck. And then he just misses, and then he's able to get that final auto off.
Marcoon even used the sweeper to make sure there wasn't a ward in that bush so that he knew his standing still would work. Really good stuff from Marcoon, only his 4th game on the LEC stage. Of course, playing from home in this game, but hopefully we'll see him on the real stage pretty soon. And what has that led to for XL? Where they're 1,500 gold ahead, they picked up 2 plates in the top lane. Nukeduck now 3 plates in the bottom lane. Only 1 plate picked up for Fnatic across the board so far. Nukeduck is building up towards that first item. Immortal Shield Bow seems like a very good opportunity for him here.
But so far, XL, even after the early blunders, have been able to play towards their win conditions. They have successfully been able to find advantages. Not exactly bot lane, but they did commit to that early play bot. And remember that Patrick was quite far behind in the 2 versus 2. He did die. He was about 20 CS down, and now he's actually been able to equalize that even after that death that just happened in the mid lane. So props to XL. They've been able to reclaim some control, and now they're looking to be in a good position.
Question is, what can they do with this from here? You've got to be able to take games like this where you get these small advantages in the early game and continue to snowball it. And that is something that XL have done really well over the last few weeks. They've been proactive, they've been making plays. Of course, not picking up the first dragon here means that the Dragon Soul timer clock is a little bit later for them if they want to play for that, but instead, oh, I don't think Nisqy knew that Nukeduck was there as Nukeduck slides out and Nisqy dodges back. I think we're probably waiting for those first completed items, and perhaps for that Ocean Drake as well. But Fnatic want to take the game into their own hands. Marcoon is in the right place at the right time, though. Adam already low. Cry's just going to kill him straight away. And Nisqy straight into the waiting arms of Marcoon, but Nisqy with the burst tree as he looks for more. Marcoon's going to have to walk away. No Moonfall available on the Diana anymore. Nisqy healing up with the Kingslayer and manages to hit the chains. Nisqy with a double.
Very well played from Nisqy, and a much needed double kill for the side of Fnatic, because this Gwen was starting to get out of control. That first item, you can see how much damage Cries was able to put down and turn things around towards Adam. And if it wasn't for the Nisqy TP, things could have been very dire. He now finds himself with 3 kills. Could we quickly go back to the gold there, observers, because I missed. Oh, so still 500 gold gap between the 2. I think Nukeduck picked up some plates in the bot lane, which is where that discrepancy is coming from. Bot lane, top lane rather still even. Bot lane still small advantage for Upset, but you can see the gold is equalized just a little bit. XL still in the lead, but Cries is going to continue to get stronger in the side lanes. And it's a really interesting comp from XL because they have pretty powerful side lanes. We already talked about how Yasuo can be this big side lane threat, same for the Gwen. But when you think about Fnatic, well, they have champions that can also match on a side lane. Things like a Sylas and a Camille, even a Viego can be a very potent duelist in the 1 versus 1. So there's a lot of like side lane potential threats. But I feel like a lot of these games are actually going to come down to the team fights around these neutral objectives. When you think about team fights, what's important? Well, the front line is really important, and also crowd control is really important. And when you look across the board, well, Fnatic's a lot limited in terms of front line and CC, but also kind of similar for XL. The biggest thing is that they have this Nautilus, and I think that Advian could be the biggest swing factor when it comes down to these team fights. Who does he use his utility on? How is that then followed up on? And then how does that set up Marcoon to then use his ultimate to then give Nukeduck the ult to then swing the fight in their favor? It's going to be interesting for sure. I'm looking forward to seeing how these fights play out.
It's all these different levers pulling on each other, seeing which team comes out on top. Rift Herald is used to in the bottom lane. Dragon taken already by Fnatic, and with the Rift Herald charging in, Fnatic will be able to get all of the plates off this tower, where they've got 10 seconds to do it. They should be able to secure it, so that's 5 plates for them in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, Patrick and XL play towards the mid lane to get some more gold on that Kalista, and you might wonder why XL decided not to challenge there. Adam had TP, Cries did not. So if XL had challenged down there, they would have immediately been at a numbers disadvantage, unless they had sent Nukeduck up into the top lane to try and match Adam.
What I think is also really interesting was how early XL actually decided to swap Nukeduck into a side lane.
Oh my
very quickly after that early exchange moved Patrick and Advian into mid. So I think a part of that was to give Advian the freedom to start roaming around the map, because Patrick couldn't really play in a 1v2 lane. So by sitting in mid, that funnels more gold and more resources to then allow you to actually get more XP and still stay relevant in the game. You can see he's actually a level up over Upset, even though he has a death in his back pocket. And as we said, Advian and Marcoon, the roaming duo, have their eyes set on Adam.
Will Adam go forward here? Instead he goes back with a flash in from Marcoon into the moon ball. He stopped the repel in its tracks. Marcoon. Beautiful stuff from the XL junglers. He picks up his 2nd kill of the game.
Very well executed from the jungler of XL, and we're seeing this roaming duo come into fruition once again. And Medic, this is a perfect opportunity to set up the question that we had. Rookie of the split. Originally, it was very much about, is Adam the rookie of the split of the season? Fnatic have kind of been fighting their way towards the top of the standings. He has been a huge carry performer and someone that is very impactful in a lot of Fnatic's wins. However, Marcoon and Advian join this roster, but they have already changed the entire identity of XL as a team. And if they take this roster to playoffs for the first time in the organization's history, surely, what is that in the viewer's eyes? More than enough to, is it enough to make one of them the rookie of the split over a player like Adam? Chat, please let us know. You can vote in chat. Was it yes or no?
Yes or no, yep.
Is Adam rookie of the split? Yes or no? If you say no, then we're going to assume that these XL young players are kind of
the rest of the people on the list are like low, and perhaps teams, players who are not performing at the same level as these guys. So Advian, Marcoon, and Adam, I think are the 3 big names on most people's lips for that rookie of the season. I will say, although Adam has struggled a little bit this game, just to highlight how good he has been up until now, he has the most solo kills at 15 of any top laner. He has the 2nd most kills at 15 of any top laner. And yes, he dies quite a bit, 1.2 times per game. He's quite a lot, but he also has the most solo kills in total of any top lane. He's got 10 solo kills, and the closest behind him is 5. So yes, sometimes you get a game where he goes 1-3 on Camille, but often you get a game where he is finding his own advantages, which is so rare for a rookie.
It certainly is. Is Adam rookie? Ooh, it's swinging towards no. I think that the fans are getting bought into the Marcoon and Advian hype, and how can you not? Their impact is really being felt. We've got to remember, Fnatic still tied for 2nd right now. They're definitely not out of this game just yet. The game is very even, and while Adam is behind, his impact, he still has a lot of opportunity to make a name for himself in this game. Cries is obviously a big monster up in the top side of the map. But it's Fnatic versus XL. You know it's going to be bloody, and it's going to be a good one. So let's see as we continue to progress. Drake spawns at about 1 minute 20 seconds. Both these teams are still very close. And as a reminder, as Aelis did say, XL yet to beat Fnatic. I think ever.
I believe it is ever. So
well, they never played in the playoff games, right? So they've only played regular season games.
We actually have a lot of teams like that where
Camille skal bli hot på Kalista.
And of course our last game of the day, Rogue G2 will be another one where Rogue yet to defeat G2 in a regular season game. They have beaten them in playoffs, but regular season, they are still them monsters. Let's see if XL can overcome their demons in the form of Fnatic as the Drake now 45. They're setting up, they have control of the mid. They have Nuketoke pushing in bot. Can you quickly show us that bot tower? I just want to see how healthy that one is. Okay, so it's still relatively healthy, so Miski's going to be able to hold that one off for the time being. Minions aren't going to be able to finish that. XL now grouping up as 4, using their numbers to maintain control over the wave. TP is available for Adam. He's decided to group up with the team. The Herald's going to be dropped to guarantee this mid control, and with the Drake spawning in about, a few more seconds, XL have the time.
Yeah, the Rift Out, I think, felt a little bit early for me as XL. Well, they get the time to walk into the river here and gain control. Now Fnatic are going to have to face check, and you said it earlier, Vedis. They don't really have the tank to do this. Hylissang's going to be the one to step forward, lands the hook, there's the box as well. Adam trying to dive into the backline, immediately jumps onto Nuketoke, and locking him in the Hexag Ultimatum means he can't use the last breath. Nuketoke cannot use the last breath because Adam locked him in the Hexag Ultimatum, and he saw Markoon diving in.
Ulte Adam, dette blir så som ikke fikk et ulte. I så fall det jævlig sykt. Jeg følte ikke med bra. Jeg ser farten på litt. Jeg tror han ulta Yasuo som han ikke fikk lov til å ulte på Nautilus-ulten.
I did not know that was an interaction, but it actually makes a lot of sense. Like I was curious as to where this Camille pick came from at the end, and of course they didn't even see the Yasuo. I don't know if they knew it was coming. Perhaps a potential question to ask him later, but that interaction was clutch. You highlighted it, Medic. It stops the combo from ever coming to fruition. Nuketoke could not use the wombo combo, and Fnatic end up coming out ahead in the fight. They secured their third Drake of the game. They are regaining some control. So let's have a look back and see how they pulled this one off. So
Niski hopper på Yasuo, så han ikke får et ulte, og Nautilus hitter opp sånn ulte som hykker opp sånn alle sammen.
The engage comes on from, so you talked about it. Hylissang being forced to face check. He drops the ward in. Upset kind of caught off with the rest of his team. Then Adam comes in, uses his ultimate immediately, and he's just kind of buying time. So many members of XL are trying to have the stopwatch comes in as well. The ultimate from Markoon isn't followed up on. The Fate's Call, Nuketoke can then flash away, but the damage has already been done by Bwipo and Adam. And he then can't contribute to the fight. So, yeah, that wombo combo without that power coming together, without someone using their ultimate, your team fighting is always just going to be that much weaker. And Adam did exactly what he needed to do. Very well played fight from Fnatic overall. And that's going to make things harder. XL, they're going to have to find a way to get around that now.
The thing is, XL can just delay, right? If the Hexag Ultimatum comes out on Yasuo, you can just delay and wait for the fight, right?
Yeah, just stand there and eat an ultimate
that's
from
my
upset.
point. It's difficult to do, but it doesn't totally negate the composition. It's not like a Poppy is standing there with W or something. Niski, though, looking to get on towards this backline. Betsko's going to knock... sorry, that's Depth Charge going to knock up a couple. Christ TP's into the middle of the wall, and here it comes. The wombo is the combos. Christ when he kills off Adam. But Fnatic, they walked into this. They walked into their death. It's a double for the Gwenad, one for AdBN on top of it all. XL win the fight, and they are pinging that Baron.
Fnatic felt confident. They got a lot of summoner spells out from XL, and they were saying, hey, we can win this fight. But then Cry's TP's in, and then oh my god, the amount of damage that comes out from Markoon was just ridiculous. I'm not even sure if they got the perfect wombo combo off, but it doesn't matter. Immediately off the back of a lost fight, they turn it into a 1-1, and they're going to get themselves the Baron. XL going toe-to-toe with Fnatic.
Yesterday, they went toe-to-toe with XL with Mad last week. They beat G2. XL seem like a team reborn with Markoon and AdBN.
Certainly seem like it. So here we are. The engage comes through from Niski. He slows him down. The ultimate comes down to Markoon, forcing his flash out. Then TP comes through. Fnatic all want to collapse onto the single member Flay. A little delayed. So what happens here? So there's the initial ultimate from the Yasuo, and then the Diana ultimate comes through and kills everyone. And then Cry's just there to clean up on the Gwen, doing a great job of tanking all that damage up. And then it comes back to this original question in the draft. Was the Thresh versus Gwen trade worth it? Because we've seen Cry's now get a solo kill in the top lane. We've seen him dominating in the team fights. And now XL have gotten themselves the Baron. 2.5k is the lead. XL looking to shut down their losing ways against Fnatic and continue their race for playoffs.
All-time XL are 35 and 65. They've been in the league for 5 seasons. They have never made playoffs. The best they've ever finished is 7th.
That was K-Drill's roster.
That was K-Drill's roster. But here they look to continue to challenge. Obviously, even if they win this game, they're not in playoffs yet. There's still a long road to go, but challenging teams like Mad Lions, beating teams like G2, perhaps beating teams like Fnatic, and doing so in a style that we haven't seen from XL that much recently. This proactive style, this willing style to take a fight.
You may say.
Yes!
Det var morsomt.
A style where you have more gold than the opposition and you kill their nexus. It's not common for XL. And it started happening.
The point that you're making is very much that with
tror du ikke du kan vinne og komme dere inn I playoff, så er det ja, jeg tror vi kan vinne mot alle sammen besides Rogue. Alle sammen besides Rogue, Le Mans. Og Rogue var I chatten gjennom hele går.
There's the last breath as well. They're just looking to burst them before Niski can join the fight. Hillisang is dead, but the rest of the team's coming in now. Niski joins at the end with a great hook, but Markun is dead. Burst up, Cries not with this fight at all.
Niski med trippelkill!
Oh, it's a triple already.
følger ikke med.
Quadra, Cries gonna try and stop it, but he's looking for Adam instead of Niski. Cries kills off Adam. Niski pops the stopwatch. Whipper's gonna take it away. Cries pops the stopwatch. He's giving it to Niski. The Penta. No! Upset!
Upset steals the Penta from Niski. But you know what? In the face of a Gwen, I don't blame you. Oh my word. XL, they committed far too hard. They dived underneath Fnatic's tower. And they end up giving away the Baron. XL, yes, you've got a new look on you, but you also need to know how to pull back the brakes. And Fnatic are quick to punish. The Infernal Drake about to spawn as well. Let's have a look at this. Bit of an awkward spot, and XL saying, you know what, we can go for this. So the knockup comes in from Markun. Immediate follow-up. CCs both Whippo and Hillisang, and Hillisang crossed immediately, but then the re-engage comes here from Niski. Really good hook from AdVN, but the damage has already been done. All of XL are stuck between these two towers. Upset has really good guns as well, which means his ult does a lot of damage. And here we see Gwen in all her glory, just snipping away, getting a bunch of kills. Niski even like, I've got to stop watch this, man, I'm going to die. But I'm like, his Q must be on cooldown. He throws the E out. Oh, the dash comes through as well. And Upset's just like, you know what? I'm not going to risk it.
I don't blame Upset for taking it, right? It was the right decision to make sure that Gwen dies. But I like a pentakill.
If Upset had put in all chat, then you know it was on
Alright, so Infernal Drake was just secured by Fnatic. That is sold for them. And is incredibly powerful. XL are even on goal for Fnatic right now, but have no dragons for their own. Elder Drake will be up in 5 minutes time. 2 minutes on this Baron. Where are we in terms of items? Well, Niski's decided Medjai's is the way to go. 10 stacks in that.
Oh, he gets one quadra kill, and now he's like, yeah, this is a goodbye.
Upset though, still yet to die and has a GA now. And as we know Aphelios puts out a lot of damage as the game goes on.
And people say Reckless is a KDA player. That was a joke.
Yeah,
but I mean, like, third item GA, I get why he's done it, right? His stopwatch he used in the last exchange, and now he's like, okay, well, if they're gonna wombo combo me, at least I can come back to life and turn it around. It makes sense to go. I can hear all the tweets already. Upset obviously a great split. Adam, not the best scoreline, but we know that he can be very important in these fights depending on how he uses his ultimate. For XL, we're keeping our eyes on Markun, Nuke Duck, Wombo combo, and whether or not they're able to pull it off. So the Soul did go over to Fnatic. Elder going to be spawning 4 minutes, Baron 1 minute, Adam getting some control over the side lane. And if we just kind of look at the minimap, I don't know if I'm allowed to look at the minimap. Okay, let's just look at the minimap from this perspective. There is a lot of vision from XL, right? They have wards all over the map. They had it all of it. Look, they even have it bot side of the map. Like, it is very rare that you see this much vision control across everywhere. And XL have done a great job of the priority that they've used early on to set up all these control wards top side and just using their yellow wards on the bot side. So they have a lot of information right now. They will give up the mid-tier 1, but that's fine this late into the game. And now Fnatic's responsibility is clearing out all this vision. You can see the pings coming down from both sides, indicating where the enemy is from XL, like what Fnatic wants to do. Interestingly, they're actually investing a lot of resources towards the bot side map, which I don't really agree with, because XL are going to reclaim mid-prio. Oh, Cries could be in some danger here. He's going to be fine. But yeah, look, now all the vision is still set up for XL. They still have 2 control wards on AdVN, 1 control ward on Patrick. All 3 wards are in the back pocket of AdVN as well. So they have more than enough wards to just chill with. And Fnatic don't have any control around this map pit, so
Men kan på Kalista.
Okay, so what Fnatic have done is they've created a point of pressure in the bot side of the map. They're looking for a pick on the Cries, and then they're kind of using that to then transition into mid lane, reclaim the control. And now they're starting Baron? Okay.
Double TPs. They've got double TPs.
Okay, yeah. Still a little risky to just straight up start the Baron when you know all of XL are in this part of the map. I think part of it is to make sure they can get themselves this Scuttle Crab. But kind of, I feel XL are just spreading themselves quite thin. Sorry, Fnatic is spreading themselves quite thin here. You can see that XL's clear priority is control the Baron, set up for the Baron. Whereas Fnatic is like, okay, let's split push bot lane, let's try and split up XL, let's try and, you know, create pressure in multiple parts of the map to try and confuse XL, but XL, they're not being, what's the word? They're not being confused, they're not being tempted, they're not being
puzzled.
Jag tror det kom på en fall, men det är någon som bara tar en run.
Yeah, I know, but normally you're very good. You can like read my mind.
För de ser att de har
I wasn't listening too much.
Men mindre så är det en fight de tar den och så bruken I löpet.
In any case, the Baron has now been started up by Fnatic. They've reset. Cries has TP. Let's see what happens.
Nej, inte bruk vi jävla ser
They probably know now because the Harrowed Path came out, but before that they didn't actually have any vision on it. Hylissang's going to pop the Squire's Moon from across the wall, and here comes the TP. Fnatic have that down to about 3,000 already. Hylissang with the hook's going to distract and dissuade. It's taken by Upset, but the fight really begins now. Bwipo stopwatches out. Niski trying to get to the back of the pit and will be able to get over to the blast cone. Bwipo survives as well. Fnatic are spread to the 4 corners of the map, but for the moment they are all getting out. Cries against Niski in the 1v1. Niski so much more fed, but Cries is Gwen! And Gwen is immune to however fed you are. Niski falls. Fnatic get out with Baron and 4 alive.
Wow, okay, so you know what, XL, I said that they weren't confused, but Fnatic confused me, that's for sure. They caught me off guard just rushing that Baron down, but when you have an Aphelios and you have 3 melee champions, you can just burn that down in an instant, and it definitely caught XL off guard with how quickly it was taken down. Marcoon could not steal the Baron. Let's have a quick look back at how this one played out. So you can see that they know this is happening. Protobelt flash. Oh, it was 9-16. I think that did both junglers smite at the same time? It's fascinating that Upset actually was able to get that. You know, we're going to need more time to exactly see how that happened, but one of them hit the Baron, and then because it was at 9-16, Upset was able to get the last hit. So very unlucky for both junglers, but very fortunate for Fnatic that they were able to make that one work out, because Fnatic definitely did flip that, and that could have gone very horribly wrong for them. But the coin landed heads, and it worked out nicely for them.
Right now, Adam's split pushing still has that TP. Niski has one of his own, but he's the best of Fnatic in the mid lane. 19 seconds. Where's the vision control that XL once held, Vedius? It is now dark for them in this river, but dark for Fnatic as well. Elder Drake up in 11 seconds time. Items, 3 of them on nuked up. He's got himself a GA, but Adam very willing to split push with this Divine Sundra. Titanic Hydra. Fnatic, you coming for us? You gonna...
Okay,
fight
they
this
have
Fnatic?
no vision. They're going to get spotted out.
Put a ward in
But that's the blue trick. You can't TP to that one.
And this is down to 4,000. Are Fnatic going to be caught at their own game? It's taken. Marcoon secures it. Now Fnatic retreat. Adam did TP in. And XL able to get the Elder Drake. It's trading. Buff for buff so far, Vedius.
Okay.
Gold even between these two teams. Well, 1,500 between
them. The thing is, this comp with an Elder Dragon, it does not matter if you have Baron, because XL is saying, hey, Fnatic, wanna fight us? And then Fnatic's like, no, we're good, we're really good, we're fine, you know, we're chilling, we're good. Whereas XL's like, no, please, we insist, please, let us engage in the art of combat, and let us see what happens when we have the power of the Elder Drake. And I just want XL right now to be aggressive. I want to see them pushing, and I want to see them trying to get Fnatic into fighting them, because if they can get a fight at this point in the game, they could probably just end. And even with the Baron buff, the power of the Elder is just so strong in the 5v5, especially on the back of a Gwen, and XL just need to find a fight right now.
So we'll see if they can do that. Vision for Fnatic. They have a few wards littered in their own jungle. Obviously, you're looking for that flank. Marcoon doesn't have flash right now, but can still jump in.
I forget the flank. Just run down mid. You have Elder.
You can run down mid. But the rest of XL not quite here yet. Bwipo on the front line. Hylissang hook just a little bit wide, but here's the problem. The waves get cleared out. Upset has Severum Gravitum, red and purple guns. Not the best for a fight, but we'll be able to use the Moonlight Vigil into the multi-man route if the case desires it. Now, XL with the next wave. And Fnatic like, nah mate,
this
we're
is good. Yeah, exactly. This is exactly what I wanted to see XL doing, because they are putting Fnatic in a situation where they're saying the only way you defend this is if you fight us.
Going for it.
And I like this even more, the aggression. They're gonna use this Elder and they're gonna get a fight.
Adam going in, has the GA. Upset has one of his own as well. Nukeduck low, but Adam already into the GA himself. Cries diving in onto the back line. Niski's already down. Adam just about gets away. Fnatic one player down, but the wave has been cleared. 30 seconds left on the Elder. Any TPs for XL? Cries and Nukeduck can go back. TP back into the next wave. Advn very low here. 20 seconds on that Elder Drake. You got to do it now, XL. You got to go for it if you're going to go for it at all. Advn lands the hook. Hallowed Mist coming out. Cries healthy. Marcoon doesn't have the ult, nor does Nukeduck. But XL looking for the Nexus Towers. 10 seconds, 15 seconds left on the Elder Drake. Fnatic, can you hold on? Can your Nexus Towers hold on? Can the turret stand for long enough? Brippo looking for the back line. Advn flashing away. Kills down on Patrick. Brippo's already killed on Advn. Cries though is going to kill off Brippo. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and now the go signal goes in. It's Adam once again on the front line. Nukeduck into his GA.
Så mye fighting. Han tok så mye spillstemmer uten å dø. Han er helt sykt, eller? Det så ikke ut som han gjorde det, men han gjorde jævlig mye i løpet av den perioden her. Han satt og tanket av 5 forskjellige. Han tjepet før ikke kom på crossfire.
And I think Patrick is just going to barely be able to get away. I thought that they would look to try and push this, and I think that's what Fnatic should do.
Jesus
With 3 members dead, Fnatic is
Kanske
looking to try and reclaim what they have lost. They are looking to get some towers into their back pocket. And with the Baron spawning in a minute's time, this game continues to be played on a knife's edge.
Holy moly. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you, man. Looked at the games for today. Like, G2 Rogue, that's going to be a banger. What I did not think was Astralis Misfits was going to be a banger.
You should have watched LCS last night, man. You know that it was a weekend of upsets. The moment that... Spoiler, careful, mute your ears very quickly. The moment that COG beat TSM, it was going to be a weekend of this, you know what I mean?
Spoilers. I'm gonna cry.
And an academy team beat. Okay, let's see in XL. Reborn with the new introduction of their Dutch duo can take down Fnatic.
Mark and Hank.
Mark and Hank, they're looking for Niski, but there's the stopwatch. Patrick diving in as well. The Fate's Call available as they look to dive on towards that side, but Niski survives and goes back in. And this is the fight that Fnatic are looking for. Mark and Hank.
Adam ut, han inn igjen. Adam tar kills.
Fnatic just wipe XL off the map. XL were looking so good for so long, but in the final team fight in mid lane, just like against Mad Lions yesterday, they fall. They come so close, yet it is not enough. And Fnatic will take the win.
Jesus Christ, man.
Oh, it's so
Han ble sånn, ut med inn igjen med 2 bar.
Final fight just too darn strong. Upset still unkilled against the composition designed to dive bomb. A superlative performance from Fnatic as they take down XL and move on to tie first in the standings.
We have had some bangers today. And Fnatic versus XL continues to deliver. You can see look of relief on the side of Fnatic. XL made the work for that. The very powerful duo of Markun and Advn in the early game was swinging the game so heavily in favor of XL. Nukeduck showcasing his Yasuo mechanics. But Fnatic, off the back of upset, was able to hold the line at the very end. So many things we probably missed in this game because there were so many micro things, there were so many plays, decisions that happened across the board. Definitely going to be a very fun one to review coming into next week, but overall it was a competitive game between the two teams. For XL, it's got to feel frustrating because you're so close so many times. You know that playoffs is just on the edge, and if you could just get a couple of these wins against some of these top teams, then you can get that spot, but they keep falling at the final hurdle and they're not able to make it.
Key player of the game votes at LEC on Twitter are Bwipo, Niski, and Upset. All 3 of them had pop-off moments.
Niski nearly had a penta.
Quadra kill. Upset stole that quadra kill. Pentakill. Give it to whoever you want. All of Fnatic played really well, as did XL. After the break, though, Quick Shot and Trouble will break down Fnatic's crazy win before it's time for Match of the Week between G2 and Rogue.
I feel like every time we face Rogue now, we want to win, just because we had such a bad BO5 against them. I still could feel the pressure that you had.
That is it! That is it done!
Rogue, it could not be more poetic. Larson overcoming his demons and removing Reckless from the equation with that shockwave. It's Rogue all the way.
They break me down, but I get back up.
It was for sure something really crazy that we just actually played our best and we showed that we can easily beat them.
Rogue have never been able to beat G2 in the regular season.
Definitely Rogue like to play by the book, but like you can catch them off guard and then they kind of get lost as well and they kind of lose like a bit of their own cool. I think if you can get them away from their own game, which they're really good at, then it can be hard for them.
So with the wake-up call they got, that's what we see, right? If it's what makes them good again or if they actually really won't reach the level of old times.
They are out there, waiting to be discovered. Some of them are big, and some of them are small. But that's the thing with ideas. They don't just come to you. To find them, you have to move. Kia, movement that inspires.
team, welcome back to week 5 of LEC Summer. For you headphone users, listen up. What a game we just witnessed. I'm joined by Trouble to somehow pack and break down what happened between Fnatic and Exile. We're going to break down a few key plays. And as I bring the first replay up on your screen, quickly tell me what you thought about the team compositions before we look at all the action.
I think Fnatic very uniquely picked a composition to surround Upset's Aphelios, the Thresh, Nisqy still in a lot of zoning ultimates, the Camille with the zoning ultimate as well. I found it very well curated, while Excel is your typical press R, go all in, get the kills, wombo combo, team fighting compositions.
Absolutely loved it. Now, the first replay we're going to look at is level 7. Up till this point, a number of kills had already come into play. Some solo kills, multiple action around the lane. But Trouble, talk me through this first replay, which ultimately leads to an XL advantage.
I think we are not very surprised to see that Marcoon is playing towards the bots. And I mean, Advin is here, the wave is literally pushing in, so why not go try, get for the dive and punish Upset that early into the game. The key here is that they actually have the wave pushing with them. We'll see Nisqy back in here, but the dive is going to happen down bot lane. And watch as Nukeduck joins the fight. So they try at the start to zone Upset as far away from experience and gold as possible, and this is where they pull the trigger to try and go for that kill. Now, the most important thing is that Marcoon is gonna try to go for Upset, but he doesn't use his ultimate yet. And that is very important. Level 5 as well on Upset, also very important. So as I keep playing this, you'll see that Nukeduck joins in, and when he does, the back and forth comes in. Marcoon walks out of Fritz from the tower, and once Nisqy's in and Patrick has gotten out scar-free, this is where the go button happens. You see that Nukeduck will walk into this choke point, and Marcoon will as well with his ultimate that he saved previously, very important. And this is how they will win a very clutch, micro, on the details fight. But what was so important for me is as Bwipo is chasing Marcoon, I hope I pause this at the right moment, right there. Marcoon does not move from that place. He will stay right there, not moving at all, invisible, while Bwipo is trying to snipe him. Not move. 3 seconds straight.
So incredibly close. Okay, I've got to move us on to the next replay just as soon as I can find it over here. And this is a little later into the game. Excel, they've got themselves an advantage. I'm already starting to believe that those hype train tickets I bought yesterday were going to pay off.
I mean, you've got all the items available, right? But the point here is that Kryze, who's on the Gwen, who is a big asset for the side of Excel, is on the sideline. And Adam Fnatic don't care too much about Adam. He was 1 in 5, he was just playing zoning tool. He wasn't the main damage dealer in this team.
Men uansett så var Cubit 45 poeng og
Masters Marcoon and Gale Marcoon. He goes straight in, really beautiful knockup together with Nukeduck as well. But again, your damage dealer is not there. Upset is never touched in this fight, because if you look right here, this zoning tool from
Nei, jeg forsto veldig tidlig. Det var veldig tydelig for meg at Misfits ikke kommer til å komme på playoffen. Det kommer til å være Mad Lions, Fnatic, Rogue, G2.
Okay, so Fnatic end up turning this fight around despite this. At this point, Nukeduck is already looking like a gigantic threat. Exile and Fnatic are trading blow for blow. Now, there's so much action that happens between then and our third replay.
I don't think one replay does justice.
No, there's not. I mean, Exile are pushing into Fnatic's base. They don't manage to take down the Nexus. This, unfortunately, was the final nail in the coffin for Exile. How did it go so right for
Team 1 mot Team 4 og Team 2 mot Team 3.
BTXL's mistakes, which is a lot of times they get over-eager with the trigger. They want to go in, they find the right person. And this time, I think the person for them was Nukeduck. He's a little bit overextended away from Fnatic, but what they don't take into consideration is that it's this man right here that's carrying for them fight after fight.
Nei, det ikke sånn at det en losers bracket, så det kan starte på losers bracket.
I'm gonna pause it here. Marcoon sees the opportunity, he insta-flashes.
Nei, det vil jeg ikke funke på losers bracket.
Unfortunately, that's what lost in the grand finals as well. Nukeduck will go in as well.
Men det er ikke noen advantage.
And they're trying to go for Nisqy, who has a lantern.
What's the damage from Upset?
I'm gonna pause it right there, because the reason why Upset is doing that damage is again, look at this zoning ultimate right here from Adam, keeping Nukeduck away, Healy right in front of Upset, Nisqy right in front of Upset. This man right here is doing damage, and no
Hvis man
one
glad I
can
visse
stop
folk,
Fnatic's world.
sånne
The
ting.
Pillaging from Fnatic is just
Men altså
so
Miracle
darn
Run
good.
sier mye
It really,
mer
really is. It's a
og mye
brutal finish,
kan
but
skje.
what an exceptional game. I think I want to draw some attention to Niski. It's a man that really stepped up, and I actually was saying to Shox backstage that I personally consistently undervalue how good this player is. An exceptional performance. I think the Silas was great, and you see how well Fnatic can enable really every single one of their players.
What is again so surprising for me
Box,
is
Mango,
how much they work as a
Same.
team, how they go all in together. One person calls, everyone calls up. It's Whippo they're gonna play for, then it's Niski they're gonna play for. Today was Upset they were gonna play for. And teams that have an identity where they can carry with every single role successfully is, I think, what we need to see more of.
Absolutely the case. Listen, there's not enough time to break it down. If you didn't watch that game, go watch it right now. No, watch it later. Well played to Fnatic, but XL, I have to tell you now that yesterday I bought my tickets for the hype trade. After a loss to the Mad Lions, I saw how you played, I saw the passion of the players, and how good Markun and Adrian are playing, and I decided to hop on board that XL Playoffs hype trade. I don't want those tickets to be duds. Anyways, you can do this, XL. Coming up after the break, it is going to be our match of the week, and after the 9 games already, it is a hell of a lot to live up to. What a weekend! Let's go, Rogue!
Det verste med Grand Prix, altså. Jeg skal si det, men de har lagd meta på den, de har fikset på det, men det verste med Grand Prix er det at hvis man ikke ser det live, så kommer det på video, og hvis man kan se på videolengden om det er reset på bracketen eller ikke. Utifra lengden, ikke sant? Og det har de fikset, det er noen par tournaments som gjør det nå, og de liksom har sånn her videoen lenger, og har sånn her this part of the video is only here for no spoilers, sånn ting.
Men Mango vinner jo bare på 1 brett.
Ja, på Reason, da.
Ja, i det tilfellet hvor det er Hunger Box, for eksempel Lucas.
Ja.
Mango vinner bare med sin egen.
Ja.
Så
Man får resetten, og så vinner den etterpå. Men ja, det er sånn det funker, for at jeg tror man får advantagen når man kommer fra luset, så får man advantage første game, og så får man advantagen second game. Eller sånt. Eller hvor var det ikke? Eller, jeg husker ikke hvordan kommer jeg på tournament.
Jeg vet bare at det...
Fordi det er visse starter-stager man kan velge mellom, og så banner man. Så kommer man til den stagen. Men jeg tror kanskje i reset så kan man få med counterpick, men jeg er ikke usikker.
Ja, det er ikke. Det er sånn, det tar det innover videolister, og det er bare sånn
Og det kommer den største Melee-tournamenten i året kommer snart nå bare, hvis du gir opp. Summits, den første in real life bracken. Det er litt shit. Det som er bra med Smash Summit er at jeg har noe av største prize poolsen, og så er in-person events. Og så er det liksom, det er bare invitert de liksom beste spillerne, og folk som er invitert innenfor at folk har stemt på noen. Men uheldigvis er en av de beste spillerne ikke med, han har leppen, for det er en av visa reasons, som er veldig trist. Her ser du folk som er med. Så Zane er med, Mango med. Det er folk som er jo qualified på grunn av en tournament som de gjør bra. Alle er jo veldig gode. Jeg blir jo Malky. S-Fett han er liksom coinflip.
Hadde ikke sånn doktor FD eller kampanjen.
P5B. Han var en god før, men han fikk sånn der depression og... Ja, jeg tror det. Ja, det kan være både. Jeg tror det var i hvert fall depression og en ting, men jeg vet ikke om det er nødvendigvis grunnen til. Åh, Nann er med! Åh, han er det kuleste spilleren. Hvis du tenker at folk er hyped over Mango, så er Mango tenkt å være God, the Goat og sånne ting. Men noen har det kuleste spillestilen. Det her er yndlingsspilleren, Han er på Japan. Han er eneste Yoshi-spilleren som er high-tier.
Jeg vet bare at det er noen folk som synes han svenske fyren potensielt goaten også.
Leffen, ja?
Nei, han andre.
Armada?
Ja.
Ja, han spiller ikke med, men ja.
Nei, jeg vet det. Jeg vet bare at...
Jeg vil ha sagt at Armada er goaten her, selv.
At det er noen folk som sier at det handler ikke om en goat.
Du vet hvordan... Du er ikke veldig familiar til liksom Smash i seg selv, men du kan forestille deg liksom hvor even egentlig Smash er som et spill, right? Og det faktum at liksom, det er veldig lett, hvis du tenker liksom, en god team på League of Legends kan godt tape et game på game til round team, right? Og i Smash så er det mye lettere egentlig, for det er mye lettere å bare dø. Right? For et League of Legends team til å bare tape en hel lead og alt mulig sånne ting. Det er mye mer ting som må gå galt. Men det faktum, for eksempel Armada, tappte aldri et game under folk som hadde 5 gasen på en veldig lang periode, og han tappte aldri under folk til topp 10 noen gang innenfor hans store karriere. Det er en grunn. Ja. Han har tappet aldri til folk under, for Mango har tappet til folk som er under topp 77 og sånne ting, men Armada har aldri gjort det sånn. Men en grunn til at det selvfølgelig ikke har nok til en band. Når man ser på peaksen, man ser liksom at Høyrebass er kanskje mer wins overall og sånne ting, men Armada er konsistent.
Han har jo ikke det
noe lenger, ja. Men husk på at Høyrebass sin supersterke era er ikke akkurat noe det var sånn for 2 år siden. Det er sånn bare varmt alt sånn. Og de tok et lysene. Jævla køns. De vet hva de skal gjøre mot Rogue Hall. De har litt gameplaner. Det er veldig tydelig at de forstår hva som skjer.
Vil ikke Larsen kunne gå AP?
Jo, det han har kanskje litt han vet men det her tvinger han liksom litt til å gjøre ikke hadde men jeg vet at det svarer like på Viego, så jeg antar bare Viego og så bare
We'll see where Rogue decide to go. Callista is their lock here for Hansama.
Okay, so Rogue already getting
tror jeg sier det bra nå. Jeg så på Nei, ikke fekkes pikke Draven fra Hansama. Det var jævlig. Se på det vel på. Jeg var så gille. Han er på thumbs up etter Reckless. Så det?
Oh, I love that from Hans. The disappointment.
Han kom fra Draven, så begynte han å thumbs up etter Draven. Ja, go for it.
It will be the Tristana lock-in.
Let me see it, Draven.
I love having the players back on stage, the call-outs to one another. Absolutely enjoy to watch. So G2 going for
the det sykt game å se på. For han kan ikke spille defensivt med Draven, så han måtte vært Reckless som aggressiv spiller, og det var jævlig sykt å se mot han da. Jeg vet ikke hvor god aggressive stylen til Reckless er, men jeg føler at han ville ha klart det nå. Jeg føler at det ikke er noen grunn for han ikke gjør det. Han er så bedre enn masse andre greier. Kanskje ikke disse gamet her er beste game å gjøre på det.
It goes over to Hansama and Trimby, who are probably the best bottom lane in terms of pure 2v2 across the course of summer so far. Most 2v2 kills.
Caps er jo ADK, men brukte meg før, ikke? Han kunne være boss.
The last 5 weeks. As we move into the second phase of picks and bans, what have we got? Well, Rogue need a mid lane and top lane.
I love this pop
because
when you look at the number of jumps that have been coming out from this Rogue squad, the number of dashes, Poppy is just such a good pick. We already saw it from Mickey. I think it was yesterday, and I think that he's been sitting on that pick for a really long time. His other pocket pick is Gragas that he brought out well. Remember the Yasuo, Gragas bot lane, they used to play with Perks, one of his most favorite champions as well. I don't think we're going to see the Gragas but Set is the other one that I am thinking about that they could actually run down in that support position. But the Leona being removed, I think, is another really good ban here from Rogue. 2 very powerful supports that Mickey has showcased so far this split that could be very difficult towards Rogue bot lane.
Of course, Leona synergizes so well with Diana when she jumps in. You just put the solar flare on top of the moon fall and you get the power of the sun and the moon combined.
Larsen kommer aldri spille blank, gjør
G2 ban out the LeBlanc we were talking about earlier, Vedius, and with Rogue still needing to pick their mid laner, that makes a lot of sense alongside that. The Victor taken away from Larsen.
Sånn team synergy reliant. LeBlanc så lite akkurat det.
Of course, Lucian already taken away from him.
Annie.
I wonder if he'll go towards another control mage. Larsen didn't have the best of splits so far, but is quietly beginning to find his former form.
Yeah, with the return of control mages, he definitely seems a lot more comfortable. I'd love to see them lock in the Ziggs. I think the Ziggs is a very powerful flex pick, and while you would know that it's going in mid lane, instead they're going to go for the Orianna. So a classic for Larsen, one of his most played, alongside things like the Azir and Victor. Just a classic control mage, offers good utility, good damage. And also great scaling. Not usually a lane that you play around, but that's kind of what Larsen prefers anyway. So let's see what G2 now go. Do they want to go for something? Yes, they want to go for something. Kind of took the words right out of my mouth before I could say them. The Braum going to be locked in, so a little bit more of a safe bot side of the map. Can still set up plays, but you're very reliant on the opposition being that primary engage tool. And they're going to go for the blind pick Renekton. So a little bit more of an early game focused comp with the both Renekton and Lucian. Very dominant 1v1 laners that are about getting pushing lanes, very much about having a jungle play towards you. And can act as a very powerful front line. Corona just showcasing his depth of champion pool. Of course, Trimby on the hover list right now, but
Trimby bare elsker hover ram shit.
Nei! It's going to be his Mundo champion that he's actually spoken to me a lot about. When I spoke to him about it last week, he was saying, I think it's good, but I don't know if I'm biased. He says that he just thinks the champion is super fun, so he's just been having a lot of fun with it, but he doesn't know if it's actually good in pro yet. But then with Anathema's chains also coming out, he was like, nope, this champ's good. And so we've seen it a lot from Wonder, and now we're going to get to see it from the man himself.
My expectation is we'll see Anathema's chains picked up perhaps on a couple of people on Rogue, because there's only one AP threat on the side of G2, and that's where Anathema's chains is so much more powerful than something like an Abyssal Mask. You can just put it on the AP threat and then build Ninja Tabi. Oh, sorry. Plated steel caps and armor. And you put yourself in a really good position. Having a look at the compositions holistically, though, Vedius, you said G2 esports perhaps more early skewed with the Lucian and Renekton. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think that G2 do have priority mid and top.
De har
likely to play towards the top side of the map. Rogue a little bit more proud on the bot side of the map, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them invest a couple of resources towards this Kalista and Nautilus. So I think that, you know, a kind of classic cross map, and it comes down to who's able to get those advantages and where they can leverage them. Because when you have prio top, it makes it easy to TP down towards the bot side of the map as well. So while I don't think that there's going to be a lot of bloodshed early, there's a lot of potential for both teams in the early phase of play. It's going to be an interesting one. Every time these two teams make it is a banger, but G2 always comes out on top during the regular season. So I can't wait for it, Medic. It's going to be a good one. So without further ado, let's jump right in.
You said that as if we were
about to...
Yeah, I was kind of like...
But you didn't actually see the countdown thing in the wall, so...
I was looking at the prompter.
Yeah.
I guess.
We still got a few seconds. Oh, okay, we still got a few more seconds than we usually have, so we can keep talking here as we wait to get on into the game. And as you say, it's always a banger. As we now are on to 0-11, the regular season scoreline between G2 and Rogue, or the other way around, Rogue and G2. Constantly, we see G2 on Rogue, but perhaps Rogue looking for something with the level 1 caps caught by an infected cleaver. Lady the Moon King coming out as well. There's another cleaver. You say he's got a flash, he jumps across the wall, and that is some event for the G2 mid laner.
Okay, men det betyr at det betyr at Larsen ikke kan bli Braum-flasha på med lysflash.
Early on, I think he did. Yeah, I think I saw him use his E, so he would have still been down.
Da vet jeg faktisk ikke hvor de fikk
right now for us. So yeah, loss of flash for Caps, gonna suck for him. Still though, should still give him as a Lucian, he should still have prio in this lane early on, but he might want to respect it just a little bit more due to that lack of flash. Orianna not the most threatening at level 1. Perhaps unless you're Larsen. Of course, you can still use that Q to harass in lane. The mana cost isn't that extreme, but Lucian, because you can use your auto attacks to harass, you're just so much more threatening.
Jeg tror at Oriana en av de bedre mage-stønn mot hans side, fordi at faktisk har også livet.
Hvor det her vil skje hver siden når du spiller Rogue? Rogue bare må fighte. Det er bare sånn... Det bare ser sånn anger som kommer ut. Hva er det der? Jeg tror han... Jeg tror 100% lost rate. Kanskje han bare var helt pikk.
Men jeg tror Mundo liksom
det er sånn champion som bare gjør alt mulig i verden hvis du ligger her, og så er det sånn champion som gjør noe hvis du ikke gjør det. Men hva faen skjer?
Reckless is still level 1. Which is a pretty big deal, and now the wave is slow pushing against him. So on paper, this might look like it was a goal perspective. It probably wasn't. But what Reckless loses as a result of this, I think is actually a really big deal. So, Trimby takes the initial tower aggro, as you come to expect. He takes that first tower shot, but the damage from the two of them is huge. Then the Ignite one, he's also just hitting him, and Reckless is hitting him, of course, means that they actually end up trading 2 kills for 1. But again, the experience and the fact that Reckless lost his heal. Well, okay, 80 carries are in a similar position, but Mickey losing his flash and the fact that the waves actually pushing the wave for Reckless, I think can be a really big deal. At least that is how I'm interpreting it.
It depends what Inspired does now, right? Because if Inspired can now make this cost Reckless more, then it's great. But if Reckless and Mickey get a free laning phase from this point on, then they don't actually lose too much out of it. Jankos looking for Larsen in the mid lane. You can see Inspired is trying to team up with Trimby in the bottom lane to make
Han får mye med XP waven, og han får med gold waven, men han får kill XP også, så de kommer til å ha en distinct level advantage.
And Trimby and Hansama just want to keep the wave here for as long as possible, but Mickey and Reckless did just get levels. Jankos is now on the way down to clear out some vision. And I like what Jankos did there, pathing towards bot to basically say like, hey, I'm here to help you unstick, or unfreeze rather, the wave. And now you're safe to push this one out because we know that Inspired is on.
To this game, no real surprises that Rogue wanted to put a lot of eggs in the Hansama basket. He is having a stormer of a split, 1,000 gold ahead on average at the 15 average. Yeah. I will say his CSD he played against the center lane, so that is slightly, I believe, towards the fact that he played against that center, but he is still having very strong laning phases.
He certainly is. Hansama, I think, in the conversation for MVP this split, he's had a very strong performance. Odoami said on PGL that he feels he's playing even better than he was last split. I love that he was calling Reckless out to play the Draven on stage, saying like, hey, it's my pick, if you can play it into me, I'd love to see that. Ends up going for the Tristana anyway, but still, like, the confidence that Hansama has, especially when you think back to when he started, the shy young man on Misfits back in 2017. A very talented player, but not one that really stood out in a sense. Of course, he still has
det var Wunder som spilte Mundo, så kanskje han bare pikka det for
Mickey's forced back a little bit here. Concussive blow is going to go down on Trimby as well. Hansama looking to get that rend off. Inspired on his way down.
Someone's in the river. They don't quite know where, but that ward in the Dragon Pit is now going to give them information as to where Inspired is. What does Jankos do as an answer? He's pathing his way towards mid. Wonder is making his way down as well. Are they looking to push this one through so they can contest? That is the impression that I'm getting. Even Smite came through onto the cannon minion too. Jankos is very committed to challenging this.
But how do you do it without Smite? What's Jankos going to do? He hits a Q. Inspired does still have flash and will secure. Flashes away from Jankos. The chase is on now though. G2 looking for kills, not for the objectives. Inspired down. Reckless gets the kill. Oh, that blast cone timing was beautiful from Hansama. Reckless gets 1 kill and gets out.
Yeah, so I'm in agreement with you. I'm surprised that Jankos smited cannon. Obviously his goal there was to help Caps get the push so that he can collapse faster as an ult comes through. Response from Larsen using the last bit of his mana. But yeah, when he then dives into the Drake pit, he then doesn't have the smites to actually contest it. So perhaps he believed that the Drake was going down slower, so he would actually have enough time to force Rogue off, meaning that his smite wasn't that important, or he was willing to just take that flip. He's going to use his smite on the cannon to help Caps get that push in mid so that he can ideally collapse along with Wonder. But then as he dives into the pit, he then doesn't have his smite, so that he can't really steal that one away. It would have just been in range as well, but they still end up getting that kill onto Inspired. They put that onto Reckless as well, so a little bit more money into his back pocket.
Actually, Trimby who ordered the blast cone, so credit for him. saving himself. Although I do wonder if Reckless had jumped in there, whether or not Trimby could have burst him down alongside Hans Summer before anyone else was able to come along and help. We did see some picture-in-picture trading in the top lane. Odoamne does still have his ultimate. Wonder tanks up a tower shot here. Maybe Odoamne oversteps. Jankos has been spotted, I believe, on that control ward in the river, so Odoamne now knows he's in a 2v1, a numbers disadvantage with Inspired on the way.
And look at the supports. Pings are coming down because Mickey's already roaming up, but Trimby has changed his path. He was going bot, immediately paths back up towards top lane and says, hang on, I've got to make sure that I'm here to cover, and then he's going to spot Mickey out. Let's see if they go for a fight.
Mickey?
I think Trimby's been very willing to swing that anchor a few times in this game already. Just chunks out Mickey a little bit. Reckless also around the mid lane here. Hans Summer catching a wave in the bottom lane. This is a 4v2 in favor of G2, but Reckless can't quite get close enough to get those auto attacks down. Trimby with a good toss gets himself underneath the tower.
He does. And the rotation from Reckless as well. Something we often see from the G2 bot lane. They're very quick to rotate into the mid lane. Down for a fight. Jankos in a bit of an awkward situation, so he's forced to drop his E out, but Reckless not going to lose anything here on the bot lane. He is down a lot in CS, and it comes back to what happened in that early game. That very early dive, creating that CS discrepancy effect that Hans Summer could keep the wave in such an awkward spot has created this CS discrepancy. But if we could quickly look at the gold, I actually think they're very even. 3.1 to 3.1. So very, very small lead for Reckless, but overall they are dead even. So those kills that he got in the early game equalizing that CS.
A little bit of a lead for Wonder in the top lane as well, about 300 gold ahead. Inspired's going to get the second neutral objective here, securing himself and Rogue the Rift Herald, and can use that to try and break some of these places.
Right now, biggest crit og biggest farm i gamet, og det kan jo godt gå galt for at han fikk Tristana mot en Kalista som generelt sett kritter mer og farmer begge.
Well, I think that their game plan in the early game was to commit a bunch of summoners, force G2 to use a bunch of summoners, and then look for these chain ganks. But after the spot out on the Drake due to that ward and Inspired getting caught off guard, I think that their whole early game plan has kind of been put on the back foot. But if there's anything we can say about Rogue, is that even if they're... Well, I think that one of the most consistent things we've actually said about Rogue is that when they get taken off their plan is when they're at their weakest. However, as a team, I think that they've evolved, that they're actually quite good to pivot. And okay, if one person isn't doing as well in the early game as you expect them to, then someone else normally steps up for the team.
Yeah, and a lot of that actually falls on the back of Inspired, because remember last week when Hans Summer fell behind on the Kalista, it was Inspired who decided, let's go up towards top lane, let's gank Odoamne, let's get him ahead. And then constantly, this guy is just having such an incredible split after split. These numbers don't really show how much impact he has for the team, but he is the driving force behind Rogue's early games when they go well, and Rogue's early games changes when they're going poorly.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things where like stats often require a lot of context. And for sure, when you're playing well, your stats often look good. But for a player like Inspired, his impact isn't always felt in like a statistically dominant way, right? It's just a lot of his decisions, the way he counters and the way he answers, and the fact that it was he who got spotted out on the ward, and it was he who was punished by Jankos specifically. Like, that is not something that we typically see from a player like Inspired. Again, props to Jankos in terms of what he was doing in this early game. He is a little bit behind in terms of farm, and I'm quite surprised because Jankos has actually been stealing a lot of camps away from Inspired, but he's been answering on the cross map. A lot of damage now coming down onto Wonder, does have the ultimate up, but Inspired is around him along with Jankos. Both junglers continuing to match.
Both going to be spotted on these control wards as well. Odoamne going in, there's the ultimate out from Wonder, Dominus popped, Jankos stepping forward, as you say, G2 lose this, Spectral Maw stun immediately, the Moonfall doing a lot of damage, so Jankos trying to trade onto Odoamne, here's the TP, G2 going for it, Jankos diving in, Inspired already down, but the TP would stop Caps. It's a shockwave from Larson, and so now Odoamne is left on his own underneath the tower. Can Larson get away to TP himself? It's about to come back off cooldown. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Trimby has to get away with a Fate's Call. That's another plate to G2, and you said they lose it. G2 are not having that. We both agree, Veddy. We thought G2 wouldn't win that 2v2.
So the biggest thing was the teleport from Caps. That is what swung it into G2's favor, because if Rogue had committed to the 2 versus 2, I really think that they would have come out on top. Wonder's HP was far too low. low. Jankos doesn't really have the damage to be able to get through the Mundo this early into the game. And his ultimate was just in full swing. He was regenerating all that HP. But then the TP comes through. They realize they're about to find themselves in a 3 versus 2. And so they're like, okay, we disengage. And that is when Wonder said, I can flash W, and then we can one-shot Inspired, who is squishy enough early on. So Cap's really the big swing factor in that play, being able to turn around. We're going to see back what we're talking about. So Wonder's HP at this point is just too low, right? He gets chunked out. The regeneration is coming through from Odoamne. And look, Jankos is basically going to take Odoamne. And he's really not going to care, and then Inspired is full HP. So Wonder can't do anything. And then Odoamne backs off. The TP gets interrupted, and we have to go back to live.
Glacial Fissure hits Trimby. Still has the flash to try and get away from this one. Mickey now perhaps a little bit overstepping, but with the Dragon up, it had already been started, it looks like, by Rogue. Inspired eats a honey fruit and will be able to regenerate some of his health. Odoamne does not have TP. Wonder on his way down. His TP is off cooldown. And G2 for the moment won't take this full fight. That's a Rift Herald popped by Inspired. That will work its way towards the mid lane.
It's definitely an awkward one. Not how Rogue traditionally use their Rift Heralds. Usually you always see them like pushing in that top wave, creating that cross map. While it will get a charge into the mid lane, and Inspired will get some gold off the back of it, it's not generating the priority that you normally see. So in this early game, Rogue are definitely being shaken by G2.
I mean, it's a great start from G2.
It certainly is. The fact that Jankos is tracking Inspired very well. He is everywhere that Inspired tries to be. Like, even at the level 3 mark, we saw him path towards bot, sit in the brush, clear out the vision, simply to tell Reckless and Mickey, the jungler's not here, you can push out this wave, let's unfreeze things here. You can see that Reckless has been able to close the gap in terms of CS. He is now ahead in gold. Wonder is doing very well in the 1v1 in top lane, and now they're flashing in.
Flashing from Mickey. Hans Summer's going to get locked up here. Really no place for him to go. Reckless jumping forward, gets the kill, and now the chase is on. Trimby's going to try and flash away, but the G2 players are unrelenting. 2 quick kills once again to G2 in the bottom lane.
And Reckless does not need Draven to find advantages in the bot lane. Mickey and Jankos setting him up for success. They provide the CC, they provide the damage, and now G2 find themselves with a 3k gold lead. Only 14 minutes in.
You can see this is Mickey. Oh, just beautiful. Nice. Flash Winter's Bite. The concussive blows come out. And
Hail of Blades from Reckless as well. The damage was just too much for Hans Summer. He didn't use his flash because he knew it was a waste of time. And while Mickey does get that kill in the end, Jankos would have loved it. But in the end, it all works out for G2. 3k is now the gold lead for them. And G2 are doing a good job of putting Rogue off their controlled, clean early game, and they are very quickly gaining control over this game.
And what a difference it is for G2 as well. Like 0-4 in the last couple of weeks. They beat Astralis yesterday, but I think we all agree that was a bit of a messy affair. It was a lot more sloppy than we're used to seeing G2. And then today, against the team that have looked consistently the best team in the league, they're just destroying them in the early game. Like this is a shellacking so far. Even after Rogue put so much investment into getting Reckless behind, he's now 3-1-2 with a Kraken Slayer, a bounty on his head, and the most gold in the game. G2 are having a superb performance.
Well, scaling is the other thing you have to bear in mind. Now, of course, G2, they do still have a pretty solid scaling comp, but it's this Mundo that I'm keeping my eyes on. Champions like Viego, Larsen's Orianna, they're not really having much of an impact at this point in the game. But that's sort of what you expect, Inspired even being put a little bit behind due to being counter-ganked. While Reckless and Mickey are finding these advantages, how will they work out in the team fights? Because G2's engage is not that strong. Remember, they kind of want Rogue to engage onto them.
This is bad for Rogue. Caps is on his way. Larsen not there, doesn't have a TP. Tower's already down. Mickey puts up the Unbreakable, but Trimby going to be left for the Wolves. Jankos diving in there. The Fate's Call comes out. Trimby's chucked back into the team, and now it's a 5v5 in the top lane. Trimby already down. That's Reckless's 2,000th kill in the LEC. The first player to ever hit that milestone. G2 will get the single kill and will walk their way out.
Huge congratulations to Reckless. 2,000 kills here in the LEC is a massive achievement. Just goes to show how long he has been playing here in Europe. But it looks like that he is not done and he wants more.
Odoamne trying to get away from Reckless here as he jumps forward. Mickey, not that much mana. Winter's Bite will be just about available for him. Odoamne still chases G2 out of the jungle. And G2 get a kill, a tower, a 4,500 gold lead, Vedius, and Reckless gets his 2k.
Thank you, Rogue Killer.
Wow, that is a lot. The first in LEC history, I do believe. And absolutely crazy achievement. How long he has been playing for. Fnatic has often been his home, but this year, joining G2, he has struggled just a little bit. And hopefully he, alongside G2, can find their form again as he now finds the 1v1 against Hansama. That call out in draft, he's going to answer with a solo kill and a classic happy B.
Just needs a thumbs up across the auditorium as well.
5-1 and 2 is now his scoreline. He's been involved in 7 of G2's 8 kills. The team, they haven't really funneled a huge amount of resources into him. It's just whenever there's an opportunity to give him a kill, they've given him one. And now he sits with a 1.5k gold lead over Hansama. Guess he was tired of hearing all these people say that Hansama was perhaps the best AD carry in the league. He's trying to answer and silence some of those doubters.
Definitely a pop-off performance from him so far. Now gets himself a Zeal. Hansama has the Immortal Shield bow complete, and Rogue continued just to look for things, but every time they've tried to look for things in the last few minutes, it has come back to bite them. Trimby with the hook away, Jankos going in, there's the Moonfall, and it's unfair for Trimby here. 0-4-1. The problem is he always has to be the one looking for the initiation as well. There's no one really else on his team that can go in for that initial hook, for that initial dive.
He's also just trying to get some vision control, and he's getting collapsed as a result. Mickey constantly able to land that crowd control to set up the follow-up. G2 now, they're creating pressure in mid. You can see Reckless 1v1 against Hansama. He knows he wins. He is so much stronger and is able to secure that tower. He's then going to use his control to move towards the bot side of the map, set up for the Drake spawning in about 10 seconds time. And G2 just have all the control in the early game. We have not seen this G2 for a while. Jankos has tracked, inspired all across the map. The bot lane has been dominating. Wonder getting advantages in a lane that he is favored in terms of the early game. Caps falling a little bit behind early, but he also did lose his flash, to be fair. But G2 just really stepping up across the board, and Rogue are being routed right now. Let's see if they can turn things around as the game progresses. The disadvantage that they find themselves in is pretty significant, but there's still the aspect of team fights that Rogue could potentially find as G2 look for another pick.
Odomame will just be able to walk away from this one. Infected Bonesword dodged to the side there. As yeah, as you say, like Rogue do still have team fights that Orianna Shockwave can do a lot of work, and although Larssen has been relatively quiet, he has been farming up 190 farm in only 18.5 minutes of gameplay. Already got that Ludens complete on his way towards an Archangel's or a Seraph's or whatever item he wants to build next. So Rogue do still have some opportunities. A 5k gold lead is not insurmountable, as G2 proved to us last week against Misfits. But it is going to be very difficult, because I've seen a lot of Reckless in my years in the LEC, and it tends to be when he's 5-1 at the 19-minute mark, it is very difficult to wrest that game out of his hands.
He's also quite famous for his Tristana.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
Just a tad.
There was that series against G2 where he did get that pentakill, and then he got another one. Different champion, but same series. Yeah, so Reckless is quite good at this champion, and it's one of those things where oh, hang on, TP flank coming in from Larssen.
Larsen's looking for it.
I'm gonna find it.
Farm alarm. Just wanted to farm the minions. There's not really anything to fight over for this bottom side. I guess they're trying to protect this tower because that's G2's next point of focus. The last remaining outer turret. Rogue yet to break any of G2's towers. Have got a few plates, but haven't been able to get much more than that on the map. And it does make me wonder a little bit if there is some truth to the curse, Vedius. Rogue still yet to beat G2 in the regular season, and this isn't looking close.
Every time you bring up that graphic, someone flashes. You have a power medic. Oh, here we go, another fight.
There's the Glacial Fissure. Goes between Inspired and Larssen. TP coming in from Odomame. He's going to chase down Caps, but Jankos and Reckless are here. Looks like G2 don't want to take this fight. They're willing just to back away.
Okay, so a couple summoners were burned. The flash from Mickey. Caps able to get out, but Larssen also losing his flash along with the TP from Odomame. As you mentioned, medic. Drake spawning in about 2.5 minutes. Baron is, of course, now up and alive. I don't think that's going to be the priority for either of these teams, but still something you have to pay very important attention to, because a bad team fight could spell the opening of that objective. Larssen now going to complete his Seraphs. And the second item now done for Caps. Actually going to go for the Cyrilda's Grudge as a second item. Not too uncommon on Lucian, but often things like the mana you would often see on Lucian as well. In any case, gives you a little bit more lethality. And the slow in particular is very, very potent. But Rogue, they haven't really been able to find any successful plays over the last few minutes. They're just continuing to farm up. I think that Orianna should be considered quite strong right now. Mundo is slowly but surely getting there, and once Viego has the Sterak's engaged, then there's definitely a window where they can actually look to challenge and fight G2. The biggest problem is, of course, Reckless right now. He is very close to completing his third major item, which will be that Lord Dominic's Regards. Makes a lot of sense against a champion like Mundo. Not much healing reduction coming out
kill
yet
pressure på en sån.
G2, from what I can tell. The towers continue to fall, of course, outside the executionist sitting on top of Wonder.
And of course, Mickey also has the Ignite, so you can decide to make sure you put that on Odo Amne in the middle of a fight. But what we have seen with Mundos has been more of, let's ignore him and kill everyone else, and then we'll kill the Mundo afterwards. And when you have consistent DPS in the form of 280 carries, you can kind of do that. You know you'll be able to kill the Mundo. He's not going to be able to regenerate through constant barrage of cannon shots and Lucian Sentinel guns, whatever they're called, relic guns. Becomes difficult for Odo Amne to navigate those fights. G2, though, having taken the tier 1s, set their eyes on the tier 2s. 52nd on the Drake. It will be their third of the game if they can take it. For the moment, Rogue really don't seem to have an answer. Perhaps waiting on that Sterak's, as you said, or perhaps just waiting for G2 to make a mistake.
Perhaps. I like that we're seeing the Warden's Mail come out from Odo Amne against the double AD carry composition. It makes a lot of sense. But Reckless and Mickey looking for an opportunity. Again, worth highlighting, like Reckless, I think that for a lot of fans, they are concerned because it's like Alliance all over again.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, he lost the last split. Oh, hang on, hang on. Oh, he sidesteps it. They don't know.
Oh, Trimby just walks straight into him. Depth charge coming out as well. Reckless won't be able to get the extra auto attacks down, but the Glacial Fissure means the Fate's Call has to be used.
Wow, nice sidestep there from Mickey. Able to just navigate that, the Warden, I think it's called. Or the
Sentinel.
The Sentinel.
That's interesting, because Sentinels are the thing that fight the Ruination, but Callista is very ruined.
True. Let's not get into a lore discussion right now.
True.
I'll leave that to the lore experts, because I'm definitely not one of them. Caps now getting chased down a little bit by Odo Amne.
Jankos is on the Dragon. As you said, not much healing reduction coming out from Caps, and Odo Amne just flashing in, looking for the Heart Zapper. The Doctor will see you now, but in the end, Caps is able to get away. Odo Amne, the Shockwave won't be enough to save him. Jankos gets the kill. Wonder TP'd in, and Odo Amne, the appointment, unfortunately was postponed.
Very close to getting that solo kill onto Caps. Wasn't forced to use the flash, though, as Odo Amne did commit to getting that kill, and now Wonder has found Larssen.
He knows Larssen doesn't have the Shockwave, doesn't have flash, but Wonder won't be able to get the damage down he was looking for. Jankos here just taking the third Dragon of the game, was doing that before Caps got so unfortunately caught out. But in the end, that just gave them another kill. So it's 10-1 on the scoreboard and a 6,000 gold lead as Reckless jumps towards Larssen. That's a lot of damage. Reckless is dominating 6-1 as he flashes forward for the kill.
All right. Reckless is a happy bee today. So the last game I saw him stream today was a Vayne game, where I distinctly remember him saying, why did this game go so wrong? We were so fed early. And now I'm tilted. And I remember him specifically saying, yeah, I'm kind of tilted. And that was the last thing I saw from his stream. And now he's 6-1-2 and flashing after Larssen. Oh, and now he's killing Trimby, who's going to have to use that ultimate to get to safety. Knocker, dead.
Yeah, that was not fair. Hans Sommer's heal was just too late. Odo Amne TP'd in behind them as well. As you can see, Rogue are looking for something, but I'm afraid they're not going to find too much apart from the waiting arms of Reckless. Another kill goes over to G2, and another as they just step forward into the base. The Shockwave hits. Reckless took no damage from that Shockwave. He's still full HP with one minion walking.
He wanted to lose tower aggro, I think. I legitimately think that he was worried. No, I think he thought that that tower might have killed him. That's what I think he thought. Wasn't necessary, no, but you know what? It's fine.
Yeah, you're 14 kills to 1 up. You're in a pretty good position. Betty, you promised us a banger.
I did, and instead...
It's kind of a banger, or is it the mash that comes along with the 2 bangers that we had?
I think it's more of a slaughter, personally. G2, from beginning to... I mean, level 1, it looked good for Rogue. They got the flash out from Caps. They dived Reckless, tried to deny a bunch of gold experience from him. And then since that point, it has just been nothing but a one-sided affair. Jankos was able to track Inspired throughout the early game. He was able to shut him down. He was able to find successful counter ganks, and everything that Rogue tried to do immediately was denied. So perhaps the curse is one that can never be undone. XL could not defeat Fnatic in the last game, continue to be winless against Fnatic, and now Rogue looking to continue their losing streak against G2 during the regular season.
One thing that does excite me about this game, obviously it would have been great if it was closer, but seeing G2 back on this sort of form is really encouraging for the rest of the season, right? Because competition breeds success, in my opinion. When's EU been the most successful? When Fnatic and G2 were constantly fighting each other for first place. When Rogue and Mad Lions were fighting each other for first place. So to see G2 get out of, I mean, it's only one game, so we're not going to say they're totally out of whatever slump they've been in, is a joy at least for this single game. We'll see if they can continue this form through the rest of summer, because right now they've killed off 2 members of Rogue. Jankos pops the stopwatch. There's the third to follow it up. Reckless with a triple. He's looking for more. Shockwave pulls him back. Larson not going to give Reckless his penta today. Another kill comes in as G2 are 18 and 1. Only Reckless has died. Not usual that you can say that in the G2 game. But Hansama, all the way back on the back of the fountain, does not want to give up his life today. G2 will take the Nexus, and they will demolish Rogue.
Christ, man.
A one-sided affair. G2 absolutely stomped Rogue in this game, and a fantastic performance from everyone across the board. The bot lane, of course, coming up clutch. Mickey having a great Braum performance. Jankos tracking inspired throughout the map. And Reckless just, doing damage and killing people. 11-1 and 3 was his final scoreline. It's, this is the G2 that I think many expected. The fact that they had this sort of performance